I have kidnapped an alien civilization. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 201, Finalizing the Laboratory. In his logic, the young man in front of him might just be on a whim. Because the resources needed to build a laboratory are comparable to those of a small company, and sometimes only funds are not enough, and resources from all aspects are needed. So he thought that a classroom would be enough to get rid of Liemo. Liemo thought for a while and said, 2 floors. What? The principal in charge of infrastructure widened his eyes. Liemo nodded. I need 2 floors of space, preferably with a rooftop, and the rooftop must also be occupied. Of course, I will pay the school rent according to the market price. Unexpectedly, the young man had such a big appetite, and the principal of infrastructure immediately frowned. The use of the new building has been planned, and the area of 2 floors is probably not enough for you. The use of the new building of the school has been planned. Although some vacant space will be reserved, the principal in charge of infrastructure does not dare to directly promise the area of 2 floors. I plan to invest 100 million as the startup capital of the laboratory. Liemo did not respond, but directly stated his plan. Of course, he didn't have that much cash, but don't forget that he still owned 10% of WeHua shares. For this laboratory, Liemo was going to transfer this 0.025% of shares. I believe that WeHua's bright future will attract many people to pay this money. 100 million yuan? TSK, a big deal. The vice presidents talked about it. Even for Yanda, this amount of money was not a small amount. Although there are many national key laboratories on campus, there are only a handful of them that can reach 100 million yuan in the initial investment. The president also put away his careless attitude and asked solemnly, 100 million yuan is not a small number, and a laboratory cannot be built easily. You need to think it through. The reason why he asked this young man to attend the meeting was just to give face to Mr. Wang, but if there is one more 100 million level laboratory on campus, the meaning is different. This is also rare in universities across the country. Liemo nodded. I'm going to enter the new energy battery industry. I have a specific idea. Now I just lack an advanced laboratory. The prospect of new energy batteries is promising, but it is also difficult. Do you have confidence? The principal frowned. At present, the new energy batteries on the market have been monopolized by several giants. Unless a new battery is invented, if someone else has this idea, he must think it is a foolish dream. But he is really unpredictable about this young man, who quietly won the Abel Prize as a graduate student. Maybe he can do something amazing. 100 million is a huge sum of money for ordinary people. It may be difficult to save so much money in a lifetime, but for a laboratory in the high-tech industry, it can only be said to be a beginning. Thinking of this, he cast a puzzled look at Liemo. Liemo said confidently, don't worry, I won't joke about the 100 million yuan I worked hard to earn. The specific experimental ideas are already here. As he said that, he pointed to his head with his finger. The principal was relieved at this. He looked around and said, in view of Professor Lee's consistent enthusiasm for public welfare, didn't he donate more than 5 million to our school last semester? He helped many students whose families are in difficulty. Now that Professor Lee is in trouble, I think we at Yanda should also be grateful and give him a hand. After all, although it is a private laboratory, it is still located on our Yanda's territory. The one who is close to the water gets the moon first. In the future, our Yanda graduates will have one more place to go. Don't you think so, Professor Lee? The principal was using the location of the laboratory to get him to express his opinion. Liemo himself wanted to rely on Yanda's talents, so naturally he agreed. The new laboratory will give priority to hiring our Yanda graduates. After all, I'm also a professor at Yanda. The principal was very satisfied with his words and said with a smile, Oldsy, let's move the multimedia classroom project of the art department to the next phase and allocate the top 2 floors of the new building to Professor Lee. Does anyone have any opinions? The vice president known as Oldsy nodded in agreement. The multimedia classroom of the art department was dispensable, so he naturally would not have any objections. The leaders attending the meeting also nodded in agreement. Not to mention the young man standing in front of Mr. Wang. Even the 100 million funds also need their green light. And I hope to separate the 2 floors of the laboratory from the other floors. On the one hand, it is for the need of experimental confidentiality, and on the other hand, it can avoid unnecessary trouble. Seeing that the laboratory was finalized, Liemo made a new request. Vice President Z nodded. This is easy to do. I will ask the construction party to install a password lock in the stairwell. You only need to swipe the card in the elevator to enter the upper 2 floors. Also, Liemo was interrupted by the principal before he finished speaking. What other needs do you have? You can communicate with Mr. Z alone after the meeting. As long as it does not violate the principles, we will definitely give the green light. Next, we also need to hold this year's financial budget meeting. Liemo understood what he meant. It was not appropriate to discuss such trivial matters in the meeting, so he stood up and said goodbye. After leaving the meeting room, Liemo took a deep breath, and the long march of thousands of miles was carried out to the first step. First of all, he needed to raise the 100 million yuan of funds he had just promised. The school committee would only give the green light because of this investment. He has decided to sell 5% of Weihua shares. Since the Weihua shares were given by Mr. Ren, if he needs to transfer them, he should first obtain Mr. Ren's consent. It is better to do it now than today. Liemo called Xiaoqing and drove the Baihan directly to the Weihua building. The roads in Yanjing are always congested. Rows of vehicles are lined up from one traffic light to another. Liemo endured his inner anxiety, patiently and carefully operated the vehicle. Xiaoqing realized his uneasy mood and asked tentatively, "Boss, what are you going to do at Weihua?" Liemo stared at the taillights of the car in front and replied, "Sell shares." Sell shares? Xiaoqing knew that boss held a lot of Weihua shares. At present Weihua's chip research and development has been successfully taped out. Now financial analysts in the market all agree that if Weihua's chip project can succeed, its stock price will at least double. It's a pity to sell it at this time. Xiaoqing frowned, raised her face and asked hesitantly, "How much do you need?" "I have saved some." Liemo felt warm inside after hearing her words. He shook his head and smiled. "You still need 100 million. How about that? Rich woman. 100 million. Xiaoqing's eyes widened. She could easily take out 3,000 or 5,000 yuan, and she would have to think about 30,000 or 50,000 yuan. But 100 million yuan was beyond her imagination. Chapter 202 Gambling Agreement. Downstairs of Weihua Company, Liemo sat in the car and called the assistant of General Manager Ren to explain his purpose. It happened that General Manager Ren had just finished a meeting and was resting in the office. Liemo stepped into the Weihua building. He had visited many companies. The atmosphere in some companies seemed harmonious, while the atmosphere in others was much more solemn. But none of them was like Weihua Company. This atmosphere was difficult to describe. If he had to use any words to describe it, he could only think of the hungry wolves on the grassland. He could feel a desire for victory from the ordinary employees in the company. This atmosphere made him very uncomfortable. In fact, Liemo had also tactfully reminded General Manager Ren that blindly desiring success would not necessarily lead to success. However, thinking of Weihua Company starting from scratch, after untold hardships and bloody storms, it was able to reach its current status by relying on this desire for victory, so Liemo stopped persuading him. Pushing open General Manager Ren's office, Liemo found that this office was the same as before, without any changes. Even the 2 water cups on the table were still the same 2 as last time. "Liemo, you're just in time. I have good news for you." When Mr. Ren saw him coming, his face was full of smiles. "Our chip project for Weihua has made a profit," Mr. Ren said. "Profitable? So it's profitable?" Liemo was a little surprised. As we all know, the chip industry is an industry with large investment and slow results. He had previously suggested that Weihua Company launch a chip project and had already made plans to lose money within 10 years. Unexpectedly, it made a profit so soon. How did they do it? Liemo showed a puzzled look. "At the beginning, we followed your advice and gave priority to the development of 25nm chips. Since the technology is relatively mature, the sample was successfully trial produced soon. At this time, we had received order requests from more than a dozen domestic automobile companies, and they all requested customized car chips. We were still very surprised at the time, because such customers generally require manufacturers to spend a lot of effort on public relations. So I visited the heads of those car companies one by one. The main reason why they adopted our WeHe chips was that WeHe chips were domestically produced. You also know that our Chinese automobile industry started relatively late. Those automobile manufacturers started out by copying in the early years and were restricted by others in terms of patents. The emergence of our completely independent chip for WeHe this time made them overjoyed. Take an ordinary radar built-in chip for example. The price they import from abroad is several times that of domestic ones. Those CEOs also complained to me at the dinner table that it seems that the automobile industry is very profitable, but in fact, all the profits are taken by foreign suppliers. This time, our chip for WeHe gave them hope. Even several large companies wanted to invest, but I did not agree. So that's the case. Compared with the high-end chips built into mobile phones, there are actually more low-end chips used in life, such as routers, car radars, car machines, and even radios. Although the price of low-end chips is not high, its R&D cost is also very low. That's why WeHe's chip project can make a profit so quickly. I just have a decision to tell you, Liemo said seriously. He was happy that WeHe's chip project was progressing smoothly, but for the sake of the new laboratory, he had to make this decision. President Ren's face did not change. You say. He knew that this busy young man would not come here for no reason. I'm going to sell WeHe shares worth 100 million yuan, Liemo said. What? President Ren stood up from his chair and almost swept the water cup next to him to the ground. Liemo held up the water cup. President Ren sat down slowly and smiled self-deprecatingly. I'm old and can't stand it anymore. Tell me, what big move are you going to make? Liemo picked up the towel next to him and wiped the water on the table. I want to build a laboratory and need 100 million yuan in funds. Hearing about the laboratory, President Ren's eyes lit up. WeHe can invest in you. Although 100 million is not a small amount, it's still easy given WeHe's current excellent financial situation. Liemo shook his head. What he wanted to own was an independent laboratory. President Ren smiled self-deprecatingly. He regretted what he said just now. How could the young man in front of him be someone who would be constrained by others? What direction are you going to research? He asked again. Liemo replied, new energy batteries. I think the batteries for new energy vehicles on the market have not met people's expectations. This is a project that costs a lot of money. As far as he knows, several well-known new energy companies in China spend billions of dollars on research and development every year, but unfortunately the effect is not good. Mr. Ren frowned, hesitated for a moment and said, new energy batteries are different from chips. Although chips require huge investment, they have complete theoretical and technical goals. As long as you invest, you will always reap rewards. But new energy batteries are different. Batteries have been developed for more than 100 years. It can be said that they are very mature. It is difficult to make further progress. You have to know that for such mature things, it takes a huge price to make even a little progress. Liemo knew that this was Mr. Ren's good intention. He smiled and said, what if I already have a new idea? New ideas. Mr. Ren's heart jumped. He knew what the new ideas of this young man who won the National Natural Science Award meant. Then let's do this. Since you are a shareholder of WeHe company has the obligation to solve problems for its shareholders. The company can first lend you 100 million yuan, and the interest rate will be calculated according to the bank loan interest rate. Liemo looked at his serious look and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Does the company really have such an obligation? Although Mr. Ren has a high prestige in WeHe company, WeHe still has many small shareholders. What opinions will they have? He thought about it. Just based on Mr. Ren's attitude, it seems that today's shares cannot be sold. Should they be sold on the secondary market? Liemo was hesitating. At this time, Mr. Ren said, let's sign a bet agreement with WeHe company. Use your 5% shares as collateral and borrow 100 million yuan. Agree on a time. If you can't pay back the money by then, WeHe has the right to take back the mortgaged shares. Bet agreement? Liamo's eyes lit up. He thought for a while and said, then let's set this time at 2 years. If I don't pay back the money within 2 years, this 0.025% share will belong to WeHua. According to WeHua's current market value, 0.025% of WeHua shares are worth more than 100 million yuan. But considering that the market value discount will generally shrink, Liamo thinks that 0.025% of the shares are just right. This young man is so confident. You know, it is normal for a laboratory to not produce results for several years. Mr. Ren felt that he had underestimated the confidence of the Sable Prize winner, and he also regretted that he did not ask for a stake just now. Maybe WeHua missed a good opportunity. Okay, since you are so confident, I will convene a board meeting to discuss it. Mr. Ren's vigorous and resolute style was fully displayed at this time. According to rumors, in order to solve a difficult problem in the chip project, the entire project team did not go home to rest for a whole month. And of course the remuneration was generous. Also, did you bring an accountant with you? Mr. Ren thought of another problem. Liamo shook his head in confusion. I pledge the stocks to you. Can't you just give me the money? Seeing his self-righteous expression, Mr. Ren didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You thought it was a few thousand or tens of thousands of yuan. This is 100 million. Go hire an accountant. Otherwise it will be difficult for you to pass the bank's audit. Liamo. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203. There is a problem with the gambling agreement. Living in an ivory tower for a long time, Liamo felt that he seemed to be somewhat out of touch with the rapidly developing society. When he received the WeHua shares, all the procedures were handled by Mr. Ren's people, and he only had to sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor. But this time, Liamo declined Mr. Ren's kindness to send people to help. Since he decided to set up an independent laboratory, he needed to do these things himself. There is an obvious feature of modern society, that is, everyone has their own duties. Teachers teach, drivers drive, accountants manage finances. There are professionals in every industry. Daffy has many friends. Liamo dialed Daffy's phone, and there was a burst of noise on the phone. It seemed that he was at a construction site. Brother Daffy, what are you doing? It's so noisy. Mosey, I'm modifying the exhaust of the Ferrari. I promise that next time you ride this car, it won't be so loud. In the modification factory, Daffy directed the technician to remove the exhaust pipe below. The owner of the modification factory next to him shook his head helplessly. Ferrari is modified to be silent. Is it still Ferrari? Without the iconic roar, this car is not as good as a new energy vehicle. Young people nowadays really know how to play. Who knows what treasure this young man will give out, but the customer is God. Especially this God is always very generous. The owner of the modification factory is secretly happy. It's like this. I want you to recommend an accountant, the kind with a certificate. Liamo is not in the mood to discuss the Ferrari tractor with him now. Accountant? Didn't Zhang Yazi, a classmate in our department, get the CPA? I'll give you her phone number now. Daffy replied. Zhang Yazi, CPA? Liamo was really surprised to hear this news. Zhang Yazi is also the deputy manager of the Liamo Education Foundation. He knew that Zhang Yazi is now the deputy manager of the Liamo Education Foundation. Now this girl who studies biology has crossed over again. No need, I have Zhang Yazi's phone number. After hanging up the phone, Liamo hesitated for a moment. The girl's enthusiasm made him a little overwhelmed. No matter what, for the sake of the laboratory, he gritted his teeth and dialed Zhang Yazi's number. The call was connected. Wow, boss, how come you have time to call me? Do you want to know about the operation of the foundation? Zhang Yazi's excited voice came from the phone. Our foundation has helped 126 students from poor families this semester. Zhang Yazi directly reported the specific number, which made Liamo feel relieved that the foundation did not entrust the wrong person. He said, Student Zhang's work is very meticulous. I have an urgent matter here. May I ask if you have obtained the CPA? Boss, How do you know? I just got the certificate not long ago. Zhang Yazi was a little surprised. Could it be that the boss was paying attention to her? Equity betting, public to private large transfers, do you know? Liemo asked. Hearing the boss asking about professional knowledge, Zhang Yazi confidently replied, of course, I haven't turned in a large company for a few months. Aren't you only a junior? Liemo didn't believe her words. Isn't it okay to intern during the summer vacation? I also received praise from the company leaders. Zhang Yazi replied unconvinced. So that's the case. Liemo couldn't help but sigh secretly. Today's young people are really fighting, but the modern rapidly developing society has determined that, if you don't fight, you can only fall behind. Then hurry to the Weihua building now. I have something to trouble you with. Liemo said directly. Of course, I will reimburse you for the taxi fare. I'll be there soon, boss. Zhang Yazi immediately became excited when she heard that the boss wanted to ask for something. Mr. Ren went to a meeting, and Liemo could only stay in his office alone. These things were much more difficult than academic problems. He closed his eyes and lay on the chair. Boss, I'm here. Where are you? Zhang Yazi had already arrived at the bottom of the building. So soon. Liemo got up and went to the lobby. Xia King was still waiting there. Boss, shall we go? Liemo shook his head, looked into Xia King's eyes and said, fund transfer requires an accountant. I have invited Zhang Yazi to come. After the last academic meeting, he knew that Xia King had a problem with Zhang Yazi, so he took precautions in advance. Sure enough, Xia King's face darkened, and her white teeth bit her cherry red lips. Maybe you will work together in the future. You know that a laboratory is not something I can bear alone. I need some professional talents to help manage the laboratory. Liemo continued. Somehow, looking at Xia King's look, he felt a little guilty. Xia King tried to put a smile on her face. It's okay, boss needs more people around him. Liemo was very pleased with her understanding. Let's go and greet your future new colleague. Boss, you are here. And Miss Xia is here too. Before Liemo went out to greet her, Zhang Yazi appeared in the hall. Liemo asked in confusion, how did you get in? Weihua's security measures are very strict. People entering and leaving must have a pass or an invitation letter. He believed that Zhang Yazi could not have these two things. Aha, maybe it's because I grew up beautiful? Zhang Yazi laughed, obviously unwilling to reveal the mystery. Liemo didn't care about such trivial matters. He led the two men to a meeting room. Zhang Yazi looked at his familiar appearance and asked in confusion, boss, are you working for Hua now? Liemo shook his head, sat down on the chair, and then stared at Zhang Yazi and asked, student Zhang Yazi, I'm going to set up a laboratory and now I need you to join me. Are you willing? He made a formal invitation to the first employee. Many years later, Zhang Yazi wrote in her memoirs, the boss's eyes were like arrows, and there was endless brilliance behind him. He asked me to join his laboratory that was not even registered. At that time, I was very hesitant and agreed reluctantly. Yes, I'm very willing. Zhang Yazi jumped up from the chair in excitement. Boss, the laboratory you are talking about? Where is it? After she was excited, she raised the question in her heart. Liemo smiled and said, it is still in preparation, and the site is selected at Yanda. It's good to be in Yanda, so that I can earn money and study at the same time. Zhang Yazi nodded and said, it turns out that he is a little money grubber. There are few people who take the CPA exam who are not money grubbers. Liemo said, now I have a very important task for you. So he told Zhang Yazi about the bet with Mr. Ren, in order to raise the startup funds for the laboratory. When Zhang Yazi heard about the loan of 100 million yuan, she couldn't close her mouth. A big boss is a big boss. He is so bold that he actually borrowed 100 million yuan at a time. No, there is something wrong with this bet agreement. Zhang Yazi frowned. Liemo saw that her expression was wrong and asked, what's wrong with the agreement? Zhang Yazi replied with a serious expression, it's a big problem. Liemo was shocked. Could it be that this bet agreement is completely a loan agreement? Zhang Yazi carefully checked the terms in the agreement and said, look, if you can't repay the loan within 2 years, Weihua has the right to confiscate your 0.025% shares. This means that the worst result for us is just losing 0.025% of Weihua shares. This agreement will cause WeHo company to lose a lot. Liemo thought carefully, and it was indeed the case. Today he was going to sell 0.025% of WeHo shares, and WeHo shares will definitely soar in 2 years. This agreement means that after 2 years, he still has the right to redeem the shares at the original price. In other words, he can use 100 million yuan for 2 years for free. Thinking of this, Liemo couldn't help but feel warm in his heart. He could only remember this favor for the time being. Chapter 204, Yanjing Mozi Technology Laboratory. Money in hand, food in mouth. With a check for 100 million yuan in funds in his pocket, Liemo felt like he was a mobile money truck. No, there is not so much money in a general money truck. It should be a money truck. A few days later, Liemo, accompanied by Brother He and Brother Fei, came to the laboratory in the new building of Yanda University. Brother Fei looked at the facial recognition system in the elevator and asked in surprise, "Mozi, you are really good at this. This security facility is as good as a confidential unit." He didn't know that in addition to the facial recognition in the elevator, there were infrared detectors all over the corridor. Even a sparrow could not escape these high-tech surveillance. Of course, these were all Brother He's masterpieces. The task that Liemo gave him was to ensure the safety of the laboratory, and he sent Dayan, who was withdrawn from the Xiaoshan laboratory, to help him. Unexpectedly, Brother He, who had always been honest, favored Dayan, an unqualified bodyguard. In a few days, the two worked together to arrange the security of the laboratory. With the new laboratory, the Xiaoshan laboratory would naturally be closed. After all, it was WeHo's industry. Liemo naturally wanted to keep Dayan in Qiu Jet. Dayan was very happy when he heard that a new laboratory had been built. He expressed his willingness to continue to serve him. As for Qiu Jet, although Liemo repeatedly tried to keep him, he still decided to return to Mr. Ren. Although Liemo felt sorry in his heart, he knew that such people could not be bought with money. Yanjing Mozi Science and Technology Laboratory. Daffy read the plaque at the door of the laboratory. What a good name. In fact, when naming the laboratory, Liemo also hesitated again and again. Zhang Yazi suggested that he directly imitate Bell Labs and call it Liemo Laboratory. But Liemo, who was humble by nature, felt that this would make the laboratory seem a little too personal. After all, the culture of China is different from that of foreign countries. East Asians pay attention to humility and courtesy in dealing with people. Mozi was an ancient Chinese thinker, educator, scientist, military strategist during the spring and autumn period and the warring states period. He was the founder of the Mohist school. He established a set of scientific theories with outstanding achievements in geometry, physics, and optics. Although there were many technologies in ancient China, most of them knew what they were, but did not know why they were. They only focused on practicality rather than theory. Take gunpowder, one of the 4 great inventions, for example. The ancient Chinese already knew that mixing sulfur, saltpeter and charcoal together, and then igniting it could release huge energy. However, due to the limitations of conditions, they did not explore why this phenomenon occurred. Instead, they only used this invention in illusory things such as alchemy and seeking immortality. Eventually, gunpowder spread to the West, and European scientists analyzed the scientific principles of it, becoming one of the important pillars of the European Renaissance. Mozi is different. He is a rare practitioner and theorist. He even proposed a cosmological view that the universe is a continuous whole, and individuals or parts are separated from this unified whole, and are all components of this unified whole. Liemo has always admired him, so it is more appropriate to name the laboratory Yanjing Mozi Science and Technology Laboratory. What is the upstairs floor? After visiting the first floor laboratory, Fei asked puzzledly. Liemo smiled mysteriously. Secret. Only he has the access control authority upstairs, and the equipment in the Hill laboratory has been reinstalled on the top floor by him. You're just being mysterious. But 1 floor is enough for you. Although Daffy seemed to be doing nothing all day, he still had a keen eye. This floor is at least 3 or 4,000 square meters, enough to be equivalent to a medium-sized enterprise. The equipment in the laboratory has been installed almost completely. These are the latest experimental equipment he purchased through Mr. Wang. But Liemo was not satisfied with these. The precision of the experimental equipment plays a decisive role in the experimental results. He once heard someone talk about such a thing. A chemical engineering doctor worked hard for 2 years to write a graduation thesis. He worked day and night and his hair turned white. As a result, the thesis was directly determined by the review committee to have a wrong conclusion. The reason was that the measurement of an old equipment he used was wrong. 2 years of time was wasted. The chemical engineering doctor was so angry that he almost vomited blood. As far as experimental equipment is concerned, although China's industry has developed rapidly in recent years, due to its weak foundation, there is still a certain gap in precision instruments. Due to some reasons, those high-precision equipment are subject to purchase restrictions, and foreign manufacturers cannot sell these equipment directly to China. This is why Liemo invited Brother Fei to come. There are some things that are inconvenient for Mr. Wang to do, but Brother Fei is much more convenient. Take a look. What is missing in my laboratory? Liemo asked Brother Fei. Brother Fei scratched his head. What is missing? I'm also a layman in the laboratory. He has always been wondering why this big man invited him to visit the laboratory today. The black-faced big man next to him is obviously a security guard. Looking at the big man's expectant expression, Daffy suddenly realized that there is no good banquet. He smiled and said, "Big man, if you need any equipment, just tell me directly." Liemo sighed in his heart. Brother Fei is Brother Fei, generous. He took out a long list from his briefcase. Goldman high precision coating machine, pick instrument dedicated power supply, Dayang constant temperature and humidity precision air conditioner 50 kilowatts laser light source. This long list, even the knowledgeable Brother Fei couldn't help but have a headache. Boss, the huge cost of these equipments is secondary. Some of them are probably not available in China at all. Liemo said, this is where I have to ask Brother Fei for help. I want to make this laboratory world class, and these advanced equipments are indispensable. I know Brother Fei has been feeling that his talent has not been recognized for many years. I have a vacant supervisor position here. I wonder if Brother Fei is interested. Liemo called Brother Fei one by one, which touched Daffy a little. His words touched the weak part of Daffy's heart. Daffy himself came from a business family, but unfortunately he was only a concubine's son, and was not valued in the family. Although he had already become financially independent, he could only do nothing every day. The winner of the Abel Prize wanted to build the most advanced laboratory in the world, and invited him to be the supervisor. Daffy nodded without hesitation. He knew what he would have to pay for accepting this position, but compared to the lifeless family, this was undoubtedly his best destination at the moment. Liemo was overjoyed to see Daffy nod and accept the invitation. He knew Daffy's connections and abilities very well. The special medicine he had found for Lan Zichen was something that even Elder Wang could not easily obtain. I'll leave this matter to you. Don't be stingy with the funds, and you must ensure the quality. Daffy nodded again. I'll go find my buddies to get the news. Hearing his words, Liemo was speechless. Daffy just had a lot of buddies. Chapter 205. Internship? The kind with salary? For the sophomores of the School of Chemical Engineering of Yanjing University, today seems a little different. Some people say that the sophomore year is the most leisurely time in college life. Having passed the immature period of the freshman year, and not having to face the pressure of academic studies and job hunting in the junior and senior years, only the sophomores can experience the beauty of college. Hundreds of students in the School of Chemical Engineering were leisurely waiting for the arrival of the teacher, but a teacher in charge of student affairs walked up to the podium with a document. The teacher said nothing, but threw a document to the student committee member and signaled him to pass it out. Yanjing Mosey Technology Laboratory Internship Documents? Why are you giving this to us sophomores? Don't seniors have internships? Fuck, there's also a salary, and you are required to work 12 hours a week, which is enough for living expenses. Before the materials were distributed, the students of the School of Chemical Engineering started discussing like a pot of boiling water. Liu Lifen was somewhat interested in the content of the materials on the materials. He came from a small town and was able to sit in the classroom of this top university in China by hard work. If he were asked to tell the difference between education in small cities and big cities, Liu Lifen would definitely think that students from small cities generally lack the ability to solve problems independently. This is the conclusion he came to after comparing with his classmates for a semester. For some experimental ideas, students from big cities can easily find design ideas, but he needs to think for a long time every time. Maybe this is a difference in quality education. Liu Lifen has been trying to exercise his problem-solving ability since then, but the effect is not good. This is a good opportunity. Seeing the materials, his eyes lit up. Teacher, is this reliable? I haven't heard of the Yenxing Mosi Technology Laboratory. Where is it? We are only sophomores. What can we do? Is it fooling people? Some curious students have already raised their hands to ask questions. Students in the ivory tower are full of curiosity about society, and at the same time, various chaos also make them wary. Many students have tried to work part-time outside the school, but in the end they did not get the agreed compensation. The teacher from the student affairs office took the materials and answered, Yenxing Mosi Technology Laboratory is a newly established private laboratory. New? Private? Some students have decided to give up. There are too many unreliable companies in society now. Many of them are under the guise of selling dog meat, with international names, but in fact the office is next to the public toilet. Everyone, please be quiet and listen to me. The student affairs teacher clapped his hands and signaled everyone to be quiet. In order to cultivate research talents and respond to the National New Energy Strategic Layout, our school has reached a cooperation agreement with the Yenxing Mosi Technology Laboratory. It is said that the initial investment of this laboratory has reached 100 million yuan. Students who are interested, please sign up with me. The laboratory does not have fixed tasks. Everyone can choose the topics they are interested in for research. If the working hours reach 12 hours per week, they will receive a subsidy of 2,000 yuan per month. 100 million yuan. Wow, who is so generous? Without fixed tasks, there is such a good thing. Is it reliable? The students were half believing and half doubting. Such generous treatment is very similar to the propaganda of some shell companies. It must be reliable. The founder of this laboratory is our alumnus. The student affairs teacher interrupted the discussion below. Alumni? Which one? Mosi Technology Laboratory. Could it be Liemo? A classmate deduced a name from the name of the laboratory. Who is Liemo? You don't even know Liemo. He is the boss of our Yenxing mathematics department, and he just won the Abel Prize. Does the laboratory belong to Liemo? Teacher? The students in the classroom became excited. Liemo can now be said to be a banner of Yenxing University. Following this boss, even if it is just to help, will add a lot of glory to your future resume. Everyone doesn't need to guess. The Yenxing Mosi Technology Laboratory was founded by Liemo, and he will personally lead the team to do the project. The opportunity is not to be missed, and it will never come again. Students who need to sign up can write their names now. The words of the student affairs teacher ended the discussion. I'll sign up. And me, write it down first. A group of students rushed to the podium. Don't worry, come one by one. This is just registration, and there will be an interview. The student affairs teacher was suddenly surrounded by people. Compared with the hesitation just now, after knowing that the boss Liemo would lead the project, almost all the students signed up enthusiastically. The 2,000 yuan subsidy is not a big deal. As for the interview, the thing Yan University students lack the least is confidence. In a corner of the classroom, a girl bit her lip and stared at the students who signed up in the front row. There was yearning and timidity in her eyes. She was the girl who was sponsored by the Liemo Education Foundation. With the fixed funding, she no longer had to run around all day and could spend more time on studying. Zhang Xiaoli always remembered the name Liemo. It was the foundation he founded that helped Zhang Xiaoli in her predicament. It would be great if she could enter the laboratory and work with Liemo. She looked at the crowded crowd in the front row with a frustrated expression. There are so many people, how can it be my turn? Zhang Xiaoli, aren't you going to sign up? It's a rare opportunity to do experiments with a big guy. Her few friends next to her poked her arm with their fingers. Xiaozin, so many people have signed up. Can I do it? Zhang Xiaoli's face was uneasy. Xiaoxin shook her head helplessly. Her good friend was the most hard-working person she had ever seen. However, due to her poor family conditions, she developed such an inferiority complex. Of course you can do it. Your grades are the best in the whole school. I will write down both of our names. People with inferiority complex need someone to push them from behind. Shuxian decided to do something for her friend. She left her seat and squeezed to the front. Liemo, I will repay you for your kindness. At this time, Shuxian's face showed a determination she had never had before. Daffing, your doctoral thesis has been passed. What are your thoughts on the future? Professor Wu sat in front of the work desk and looked at his student lovingly. This child is worry-free and honest. He got his doctorate degree in the standard time of 5 years after graduating from undergraduate school. Zhao Dafeng, who was sitting opposite the teacher, thought for a while and answered, I plan to continue my studies. I have received offers from several research institutes, both domestic and foreign. I came here this time to ask for your advice. Professor Wu has many students all over the world. If there are 2 students that he cares about the most, one is Zhao Dafeng in front of him. He looks stupid, but is actually very smart. The most important thing is that his perseverance is the strongest among all students. Another is that troublesome student, Liemo, who has now become a big boss. I heard from colleagues in the institute that he is now tinkering with the laboratory. Perhaps Professor Wu had an idea. He picked up the phone and said, wait a minute, I'll ask someone for you. Maybe his place is a good place to go. Zhao Dafeng showed a surprised look. Although he has not won any international awards, he has slowly emerged in the academic world in recent years. Even some foreign universities invited him to give lectures, but he refused them all, because academic achievements are his only pursuit, so he doesn't look down on ordinary research institutes. Chapter 206 Second-hand Engineer. Boss, do you think it's okay to place this lab bench like this? Xiaoqing was directing the workers to install the lab bench. Liemo, the vacuum pump has been delivered, go sign for it. Fei Jie, who was far away overseas, mailed another batch of lab equipment. Boss, this is the settlement sheet for the workers this week. Please sign it. Zhang Yazi was holding a stack of invoices. The laboratory is now a large construction site, with installers coming and going, and lab equipment constantly shipped in from outside. Liemo is now busy and exhausted. Only Brother He is the most stable. He is standing at the door and looking at the construction master with sharp eyes. Liemo sighed in his heart. Brother He is still the most reliable and does not cause trouble. Liemo, I decided to add another set of monitors here. What do you think? Within 2 minutes, Brother He seemed to have thought of something and walked up to ask. Liemo, this won't work. He has done nothing for more than 10 days and has been staring at the lab. If this goes on, when the lab is built, he will become a second-hand engineer. Meeting. Everyone come to have a small meeting. He decided to make changes to this situation. Xiaoqing took the construction and installation drawings. Zhang Yazi was holding a folder with invoices. He Jie put his hands in his pockets. Fei Jie should be sunbathing on the beach. Louis XVI. Beach bars, surfing skateboards. The bills from overseas that kept coming in accurately showed how hard he worked. Ahem. Looking at their expectant eyes, Liemo cleared his throat. After observing for the past few days, I found that everyone's work was done very well and competently, and it deserves praise. Smiles climbed onto the fair faces of the 2 girls, and even Heije's dark and rough face showed a hint of smile. So in order to better tap your potential, I have made the following decision. From now on, Xiaoqing will be responsible for construction and installation, Zhang Yazi will be responsible for finance, and Heijie will be responsible for the arrangement of safety and monitoring equipment. From now on, you need to report to me once every night on the progress of the day. After he finished speaking, the 3 people opposite him looked at each other in bewilderment. Was he going to give up? Xiaoqing asked timidly, what about you, boss? Liemo smiled and said, I'm a leader. Have you ever seen a leader do things personally? In war, a general only needs to stay in the command post in the rear to command. The 3 of them rolled their eyes at him fiercely. He wanted to escape and made up so many excuses. However, as a scientist, Liemo's time is indeed precious, and they silently accepted such an arrangement in their hearts. Liemo looked at their busy figures and sighed in his heart. This is the correct way for a leader to operate. He decided to use this method to manage the laboratory in the future. Beep beep, hello, Teacher Wu, what can I do for you? After receiving the call, Liemo remembered that he had not reported to Teacher Wu for a month or so. He was a very unqualified student. Okay, I'll be there right away. Liemo hung up the phone and shouted to the busy three people, you are in charge here, I'm leaving first. TSK, the three of them all gave middle finger. On the way to the mathematics department office, Liemo remembered that he had forgotten to tell Teacher Wu about the laboratory. Is Teacher Wu angry? Is he going to blame me? He slapped his head hard. With a nervous mood, Liemo quietly pushed open the door and poked his head in. In addition to Professor Wu, there was a man in his 30s in the office. Judging from the back, he should be Dr. Zhao, who was called the best student by the teacher. They had met at Teacher Wu's home. With someone else around, Teacher Wu should not get angry in front of him, so Liemo was relieved. He knocked on the door solemnly. Didn't you come in just now? Why are you knocking on the door? Professor Wu said angrily. Liemo pushed the door open embarrassedly. I was afraid of disturbing your conversation with the senior. After not seeing each other for a few days, Professor Wu found that his troublesome student looked haggard, and his heart softened a little. What are you busy with these days? He asked deliberately with a stern face. It seems that the teacher is not angry. As a student of Professor Wu, he is very familiar with the professor's temperament. When he looks serious, it means he is not angry, but when the professor's face is full of smiles, then be careful, because you will be greeted by a storm. The student has built a new laboratory and is about to tell you. Liemo smiled. Why didn't you tell me such a big thing? Do you dislike the teacher for being old? Professor Wu's expression eased a lot. Zhao Dafeng, who was standing next to him, looked at their laughter and scolding with envy. Although the professor always claimed that he was the best student, he was always kind and amiable when facing him. But he knew that in the professor's heart, the winner of the Abel Prize was the inheritor of his mantle. Although this junior brother was young, his academic achievements were not bad at all. At least Zhao Dafeng felt that he was far inferior to him. Moreover, he had built a new laboratory. Zhao Dafeng's heart moved. No, teacher, you are still strong in your old age. We young people are still counting on you to continue to shine in the academic world. Liemo flattered. Everything is good, but sometimes you are really. Professor Wu felt that the student's eloquence had improved again. Let's not talk about this. Professor Wu's face became serious. I want to ask you, what is going on with your laboratory? What are the research directions? This is what he cares about. Professor Wu naturally understands what a laboratory means. He is worried about his students. Liemo did not answer directly, but threw out a question. Teacher, how do you think we compare with foreign countries in scientific research? Why is it related to foreign scientific research again? Professor Wu thought for a while and said, although the teacher is reluctant to admit it, we have to say that there is still a clear gap between us and foreign countries in scientific research. Teacher, what do you think is the main cause of these gaps? Liemo stared at him and asked, what's wrong with this student today? He just asks these difficult questions. Many experts and scholars have explained this issue from multiple angles such as weak foundation and quality education, but Professor Wu always feels that this is not the real reason. He shook his head. He would not speak rashly about things that he was uncertain about. Our current investment in education and scientific research is not much worse than those developed countries. Quality education has long been implemented in primary and secondary schools across the country, and the salaries in the education industry have been continuously improved, so there is not much difference between us and them in hardware. In the foreign scientific research community, many scientists are trained in China, so we are not bad in software either. Liemo said, the hardware and software are not bad, so what is the difference? Professor Wu became interested, and he wanted to hear what insights this student had. Chapter 207, Seeking Support. Concepts. The biggest difference between us and foreign countries is the different concepts. Liemo finally expressed his own views. Concepts. Professor Wu seemed to be thinking about something. Liemo continued, the different concepts of science have caused the gap between Chinese and foreign scientific research. Foreign countries emphasize the application of knowledge, and science and technology are closely combined. From the moment of its birth, any scientific theory is to obtain more advanced technology. The principle of heat work conversion promoted the birth of the internal combustion engine. Einstein's mass energy equation provided a theoretical basis for the possibility of manufacturing atomic bombs, and the law of electromagnetic induction ushered in the era of electricity. In practice, there are many private laboratories abroad. The Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory of the University of California, the Lincoln Laboratory in Massachusetts, the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, the Cavendish Laboratory, the Paul Scherrer Institute, etc. These laboratories can turn academic achievements into actual scientific inventions and earn a lot of money, then reinvest these funds in scientific research, thus forming a virtuous circle. Liemo spoke out the purpose of his establishment of the laboratory in one breath. During the days of building the laboratory, he felt what it meant to be alone and weak, and hoped to get the support of his teacher. Professor Wu nodded frequently, and he agreed with most of these words. How much money did you invest in the initial stage? 100 million RMB. Liemo answered honestly. 100 million? Where do you get so much money? This number far exceeded Professor Wu's imagination. Even if his genius student has won many international awards, the prize money is just a drop in the bucket. Zhao Dafeng, who was standing next to him, was also shocked when he heard this number. 100 million is enough for a person to achieve financial freedom. What would he do if he had 100 million? Travel around the world? Too tiring, and the language is not fluent. Buy a sports car? Not interested. Buy delicious food? It's too slow to spend. After thinking a lot, Zhao Dafeng felt that, after achieving financial freedom, he would most likely continue to study mathematics. Is this the consciousness of a scientific research dog? Liemo didn't know that the number he said had already turned into a storm in his senior's mind. He tried his best to make his expression look real and credible. Borrowed? Borrowed? Professor Wu's eyes widened. This is 100 million yuan. Who would lend such a large amount of money to a student? Liemo's family background was also very clear. His parents were ordinary workers. Did he go astray? Old Ren lent it to me. Liemo saw Professor Wu frowning and knew that he was just imagining things. Old Ren? Which old Ren? Professor Wu asked. Mr. Ren. Liemo finally said the name. Facing his mentor, he really couldn't bear to hide it. Oh, Professor Wu seemed to remember that it was he who introduced Liemo and Mr. Ren. His student seemed to have a lot of shares in WeHua. Although 100 million yuan is not a small number for WeHua, it is said that they have already ranked among the top 10 of the Fortune 500 today, which also set the highest ranking for private enterprises. With such a large investment, what are you going to study? Running a business is not just playing house. You always have to pay attention to efficiency. When Professor Wu realized that the student sitting in front of him had a net worth of over 100 million, his tone was a little weaker. New energy batteries. I have a new idea. This was the second person Liemo explained this problem to. New energy batteries? Professor Wu frowned. In his opinion, researching other fields besides mathematics is not doing one's job. However, thinking of Liemo's concept theory just now, he couldn't help but sigh. Maybe he is really old and dare not try fields other than mathematics. I just need the teacher to help recommend a few talents. Now, besides me, the rest of the laboratory is a group of students. Liemo said. Professor Wu rolled his eyes at him. Did he forget that he was just a doctoral student, and looked at his mentor? Can I do it? Zhao Dafeng next to him suddenly said. I'm good at topology, graph theory, differential equations, and projective geometry. I also have some knowledge of statistics. His self-recommendation attracted the surprised eyes of Professor Wu and Liemo. Zhao Dafeng has a solid basic skills, but he is a talent that many foreign scientific research institutions dream of. Now he is willing to join a laboratory that has not yet been built. Brother, are you kidding? Liemo would not be arrogant and think that his personal charm played a role. No kidding. How can we joke about academic matters? Just now, junior brother Liemo's words enlightened me. Since I need to go abroad to contribute to others, I might as well stay in China to repay my country. Zhao Dafeng's face showed a serious expression. And, I also agree with Junior Brother's concept theory just now. So, I want to follow Junior Brother and do my best to change the current situation in the academic world. Zhao Dafeng's words made Liemo look at him with new eyes. He didn't expect that Zhao Dafeng, who had always been dull and honest, was also passionate in his heart. Liemo stood up unconsciously and held Zhao Dafeng's hands tightly. Welcome Senior Brother. Preferential treatment. No vacation. Of course the last sentence was a joke. He was afraid that Zhao Dafeng really thought there was no vacation. Zhao Dafeng smiled shyly. I don't need a vacation, because every time I take a vacation, I don't know what to do. It's better to stay in the laboratory. Liemo was secretly happy. Employees who don't like vacations, this is a treasure. Unconsciously, he has put himself in the perspective of the boss. Professor Wu looked at his two proud disciples and shook his head helplessly. He was afraid that the honest Zhao Dafeng would be led astray by Liemo. How about this? I will help you promote in the academic circle to see if there are any suitable talents. But don't have too much hope. Liemo nodded. He knew that only the Phoenix tree could attract the golden phoenix. Now the laboratory is just being built. It can be said that it is empty. After leaving Professor Wu's office, Liemo took out his mobile phone and called the girl he met in the new energy vehicle laboratory last time. Hello, who are you looking for? A pleasant voice came from the phone. Liemo said softly, I'm Liemo, are you free? Big brother Liemo. I get off work at 9 o'clock in the evening and I'm only free on weekends. The quiet voice on the phone sounded very tired. The employees of the laboratory only get off work at 9 o'clock in the evening. Liemo silently remembered this time in his heart, and his own laboratory will also follow this time in the future. It's okay, I will pick you up at the door of your company at 9 o'clock in the evening. I have something important to discuss. Liemo decided to strike while the iron is hot. In the coffee shop, Liemo looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it had already pointed to 9:30 and asked anxiously, what do you think? Jingjing, who was sitting opposite him, was holding a coffee cup in her hand, looking hesitant. Boss, do you really want to develop air batteries? Liemo nodded. The laboratory will be built soon, and the complete idea has been formed. Come on, let's transform this ordinary world together. He now felt like a bad uncle holding a lollipop. Finally, Jingjing's eyes flashed with a spark, and she nodded heavily. Chapter 208 A computer worth $500,000. From now on, each of you will have to enter your facial data when taking the elevator, so that the elevator can reach the floor where the laboratory is located. Liemo skillfully scanned his face in the elevator and pointed to the face recognition device installed on the elevator control panel. Zhao Dafeng and Jingjing beside him nodded frequently. Although this laboratory is not large, it can occupy 2 floors of Yanda University. Its soft power is evident. After getting out of the elevator, he pointed to the corridor and asked, did you see it? Zhao Dafeng and Jingjing looked at the empty corridor in confusion. What are you looking at? Liemo slapped his head. He forgot that infrared rays cannot be seen by the naked eye. There is an infrared alarm system installed here. At the end of the working day, the infrared alarm device will automatically start. If you need to work overtime, you must report it in advance. Zhao Dafeng nodded woodenly. Jingjing's eyes lit up. Facial recognition elevator, infrared alarm device, this is much more advanced than her previous laboratory. Liemo looked at her expression and smiled slightly. These were the most basic security measures. If she knew that there was a gravity sensing monitoring system installed here, which was only installed in large museums, she would be surprised. This is a laboratory. Liemo opened the door of the laboratory, and a row of departments, including the power supply room, tunnel electron microscope room, and constant temperature room, appeared in front of them. Wow, are the equipment in these rooms for us to use? Jingjing ran over. These high-end precision instruments that she had only seen in magazines stayed there quietly, shining. Some are being shipped from overseas one after another. Your current task is to familiarize yourself with the use of these instruments. Liemo looked at her obsessed expression and knew that he had chosen the right person. This girl was actually an experimental enthusiast. Zhao Dafeng stood aside blankly. He was a mathematician, and these instruments had nothing to do with him. "Brother, this is your office." Liemo opened the door of a room. Zhao Dafeng walked in. There was a whiteboard against the wall, and an office chair and a desk were placed in front of the balcony. The sunlight shone through the window and fell on the desk. There was also a blue computer on the desk. "Try it." Liemo motioned him to sit on the chair. Zhao Dafeng gently pulled out the chair and tried to sit on it. It was so comfortable. The chair supported his body perfectly. The touch was soft if it was a little more, and hard if it was a little less. He seemed to be floating on the sea. How could there be such a comfortable chair in the world? He looked up at Liemo in confusion. Liemo pointed at the computer on the desk and motioned, "Turn it on." Zhao Dafeng gently touched the power button. After 10 seconds, the startup was completed. Too fast. He clicked to view the properties. Xeon E5-2680 V3 8-way and Tesla V100 graphics card 32GB RAM. Fuck. Zhao Dafeng, who was always gentle and refined, cursed. This configuration was too luxurious. "Is this for my work?" he asked in disbelief. Liemo smiled and nodded. "I'm afraid I can't afford this computer with 2 years' salary." Zhao Dafeng quickly calculated in his mind. According to this configuration, the price would be at least more than 500,000. The average annual salary of a doctor is only 250,000. "It will be yours from now on," Liemo said, looking at Zhao Dafeng's excited expression. "Also, it's not that this computer is expensive, but that your annual salary is too low." Then he turned and left. Zhao Dafeng looked at him leaving, and suddenly a ball of fire surged in his heart. This boss is generous. Liemo walked out of the office and smiled helplessly. "More than 500,000. Just a fancy outfit. It's worth it." Looking at the laboratory with an investment of 100 million, he didn't feel the slightest bit of pity, because he knew that the value they would create far exceeded several 100 million. "Boss, the head of a company called Gust Fund wants to visit you." In the laboratory, Liemo was sitting in an extremely comfortable chair studying books on air batteries, and Zia King knocked on the door and walked in. Gust Fund? He frowned unconsciously. He had never heard of this name. Did they explain their intention? Zia King replied, according to him, the Gust Foundation is interested in investing in our laboratory, but we don't seem to have released a letter of intent to seek funding, right? Zia King also thought this was a bit strange. She was in charge of the administrative affairs of the laboratory. Could it be that the boss himself released the news? She looked at Liemo with a puzzled look. An investment delivered to the door. Liemo was really confused. Forget it. If you can't figure it out, don't think about it. Will you know soon after meeting? How about this? Let's meet them at the cafe at the school gate. Liemo replied. Zia King hesitated and said, they also asked to visit the laboratory. Liemo's heart was a little alert. Although it was normal for investors to visit the invested projects, he always felt that there was something fishy about this matter. No, tell them that the laboratory is not open to the public. Liemo said firmly, if they are not satisfied, there is no need to meet. Zia King nodded. She also felt that this inexplicably appeared foundation was a bit strange. Boss, this is the charging speed calculated based on the speed of metal ion dispersion in the battery. Take a look. Zhao Dafeng pushed the door open. He had completely adapted to the life in the laboratory. Liemo took the paper full of formulas and nodded with satisfaction. He was very glad to keep the senior brother. Judging from the calculation method and thinking, Zhao Dafeng's real mathematical calculation skills are still better than his own, which means that he can get rid of the tedious calculations in the future. Senior brother, you did a good job. I have another experimental record here. Please summarize the data. Liemo put the calculation results into the folder and took out a thick stack of experimental records from the cabinet next to him. Through the glass, it can be seen that there are hundreds of such experimental records in the cabinet. This batch of experimental records was sent by Daffy from overseas, and the name of the laboratory was erased. It includes experiments on various aspects of aluminum air batteries, from the selection of aqueous electrolytes to the oxidation rate of the oxide layer. What interests Liemo most is that there is also an analysis experiment of solid flux inside the battery. From the experimental records, it can be seen that this laboratory conducted a full range of experiments on aluminum air batteries. Although they made some improvements to the batteries, based on these experimental results, they ultimately failed to solve the problem of internal flux. Based on the equipment used in the experiments, Liemo judged that these experiments were conducted at least 20 years ago. When he first got these experimental records, Liemo thought that Daphne had copied the records of some battery laboratory. After asking carefully, he understood the whole story. Chapter 209 Gust Fund. While waiting for his buddy to go through customs clearance for experimental equipment in Europe, Daphne, who was bored, decided to study the European wine culture. So he came to a tavern and, on the recommendation of the bartender, bought a bottle of rum, which is said to be a must-drink for men. After a few glasses, he frowned. This wine tasted spicy and sweet. Compared with domestic liquor, this wine can only be regarded as alcohol with sugar added. He hesitated whether to pour out the remaining half bottle. At this time, an old drunkard came over. His eyes were cloudy and his clothes were shabby. He also wore an old-style pocket watch. The old drunkard licked his lips while looking at the half bottle of wine. Daphne understood what he meant and generously gave him half a bottle of wine. The old drunkard liked to drink, but his alcohol tolerance was not good. After a few glasses, he was immediately drunk. With Daphne's grace of giving wine in mind, he also opened the conversation. It turned out that the old drunkard came from an aristocratic family with thousands of acres of fertile land at home, and his ancestors had once led horses for Napoleon. Later, because his father was a second-generation prodigal, his family fell into decline. The second-generation prodigal was proud of his rich family background, and money could no longer satisfy his desires. He decided to leave his name in history books, just like Newton and Picasso. But people who leave their names in history books must have outstanding qualities, or have made achievements that change the world. Unfortunately, his eloquence was not enough to engage in politics, and his literary talent was not enough to publish a book. At this time, he saw a scientific report in the newspaper. In the report, the editor of the newspaper compared the aluminum air battery to the most important discovery of the new century. Although there are still some minor shortcomings, if it is improved, it will immediately become a product that is popular all over the world, and the inventor will also gain fame and fortune. The second-generation prodigal was overjoyed. A product that is popular all over the world means huge monetary returns, and changing the world means leaving a name in history. As for the small shortcomings, he did not take it to heart. Instead, he thought that, if there were no shortcomings, wouldn't others have taken the lead? In this way, he founded a laboratory and began to study aluminum air batteries. The research progress was as Liemo expected. There was no breakthrough for several years, and that small shortcoming was a stumbling block. In the end, the money of this prodigal son of the second generation was almost spent, and there was still no breakthrough in the experiment. Retaining a trace of rationality, he decisively terminated the laboratory, dismissed the employees, and sold the equipment. In the end, the only thing left for the old drunkard was this batch of waste paper recording the experimental results. After learning the news, Daphne did not directly express his intention to buy, but took the opportunity to drink at the old drunkard's house, to take a few photos of these experimental records, and send them back to the Yanjing Mosi Technology Laboratory. When Jingjing in the laboratory saw these photos, she quickly confirmed the authenticity of these experimental data. She was so excited that she almost fainted. With these records, it means that the Mosi Technology Laboratory can skip the early experimental steps. It can save a lot of money, not to mention time. Liemo then commissioned Daphne to ask the old drunkard to buy it. In this way, the old drunkard did not expect to get a lot of money with these waste papers. Boss, Gust Fund agreed to your request, and now they are on their way to the cafe. Xia King knocked on the door again and entered. She looked at her watch. It is expected to arrive in half an hour. It seems that the staff of Gust Fund is a little anxious. Liemo thought about it in his heart and finally decided to meet him. Maybe someone really thinks that he is very charming, he thought optimistically. You notify Zhang Yazi and let her go with us. Liemo said, she is more familiar with investment matters. Just like that, Liemo appeared in the cafe at the school gate with 2 female employees. There were not many customers in the cafe at this time. 2 young employees were playing with their mobile phones at the bar. "Professor Lee here." Liemo was looking around, and a voice came from the 2nd floor. Following the voice, a young man in a suit stood on the stairs and greeted them. "Professor Lee, I'm the manager of Gust Fund. I heard that you recently founded a laboratory. Our Gust Fund is very interested." In the private room on the 2nd floor, a middle-aged man with black hair stood up and shook hands with Liemo. The young man who greeted him just now stood outside with his hands crossed. "I'm Liemo. May I ask your name?" Shaking hands, Liemo smelled a strange smell from the man, like the fragrance of flowers and a faint sour smell. "I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Gu Fang. This is my business card." As he said, he handed over a business card with a gold border. Liemo gently placed the business card on the table. "Gust, Gu Fang, what a coincidental name. Our Gust Fund was also established recently, aiming to invest in some scientific research institutes with potential." Gu Fang took the coffee brought by the waiter. Liemo found a scar on his wrist, which should be caused by washing the tattoo. "Mr. Gu Fang should be Chinese?" Liemo asked doubtfully. He always felt that the middle-aged man's accent was a bit strange. "My ancestral home is in Fujian, and my father took me to Southeast Asia when I was young. My family recently established the Gust Foundation, so I took this opportunity to return to my motherland." The middle-aged man's eyes twitched slightly. His Chinese pronunciation was professionally trained, and ordinary people could not hear the difference at all. "So that's how it is. Then Mr. Gu can be regarded as returning home in glory. Congratulations." Liemo played take-eye. He now felt that he had been influenced by those leaders. No, Professor Lee is a young talent. He has won many international awards since he was young, and now he has established an independent laboratory. I really admire him. Gu Fang took a sip of coffee and changed the subject. "Speaking of the laboratory, I wonder if Professor Lee is willing to accept investment." Here it comes. Finally it's time to talk about business. Although Liemo didn't have much hope for this kind of investment, he always had to try it. "Of course I'm willing to accept investment, but my laboratory must guarantee its independent operation." Liemo also stated his conditions straight to the point. "Of course, the Gust Fund will not interfere with the daily operation of the invested laboratories, and we will not even send someone to review the use of the investment funds." The experienced Gu Fang naturally understood what the young man in front of him was worried about. After many emerging companies with potential were invested by capital tycoons, the founders eventually lost their voice. It is normal for investors not to interfere with operations when the investee is strong, but not reviewing the use of investment funds. Even if Liemo didn't understand investment, he didn't think there would be such good conditions. So he cast his eyes on Zhang Yazi next to him. Zhang Yazi also had a look of astonishment on her face. No investor would take the initiative to propose such an outrageous condition, because losing the right to review the funds means that, even if the head of the invested company privately occupies the funds, he cannot be held accountable. "Are you kidding, Mr. Gu Fang?" Liemo asked doubtfully. "Aren't you afraid that I will eat up all the investment?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210 Rejection of 500 million. We at Gust Foundation believe in Professor Lee's character. Gu Fang tapped the table with his fingers. 500 million funds. We will provide 500 million funds for your laboratory. Liemo stared at his fingers, and Gu Fang's index finger joints seemed to be covered with calluses. Liemo had seen the same calluses on Brother He and Brother Qiu's hands. He subconsciously winked at Xia King. Xia King gently supported her eyes on the bridge of her nose with her hand. Gu Fang also seemed to be aware of Liemo's gaze, and he gently picked up the coffee cup. "How about it? The Gust Foundation invested 500 million yuan in the Yenqing Mozi Technology Laboratory. 500 million yuan investment?" Liemo felt that, if he was not dreaming, then the other party had some other thoughts. He also picked up the coffee cup and took a sip. I don't know what your foundation's requirements are. There is no free lunch in the world. Just like the current online games, free ones are the most expensive. Gu Fang put his hands under the table and said, "It's not a request. We just have a small request. The Gust Foundation will send a technical representative to the laboratory, and he must have full authority in the laboratory." At this time, Liemo frowned. Full authority means that the experimental content of the entire laboratory is no longer a secret in the eyes of the Gust Foundation, which is unacceptable to him. Seeing that his words were not responded to, Gu Fang continued, "Of course, the technical representative of the Gust Foundation will not interfere with the daily operation of the laboratory at all. And we will also invite some world-renowned experts to join your laboratory. As far as I know, you are currently very interested in new energy batteries. It's hard to gain anything just by relying on you. After all, this project is very difficult." Liemo raised his eyes. Gu Fang came prepared and even knew the situation of the laboratory clearly. This just confirmed his previous views. Liemo, who had figured out everything, stood up slowly and said with a smile, "Our Yangjing Mozi Technology Laboratory does not have any financing plan at present. Thank you for your coffee, goodbye." After that, he left the cafe directly. He didn't know that after he left, Gu Fang looked at his back with a fierce light in his eyes. "Boss, what should we do now?" The follower beside him stood up. "You should always use courtesy before force when doing things, don't you think, Jamie?" Gu Fang showed a sneer on his face. Leaving the cafe, Liemo realized his negligence. It seems that the peaceful life during this period of time made him forget the attacks he had encountered before. "Xia King, did you record it just now?" He turned around and asked. Xia King took off her glasses gently, looked at it, nodded and said, "Boss, don't worry, it has been recorded. Send the video back to the security bureau. I think this Gust fund is a bit strange." Liemo said, "You can't have the intention to harm others, but you must be on guard against others." Before arriving at the cafe, Liemo had arranged for Xia King to wear glasses that can record. During the conversation, the calluses on Gu Fang's index finger revealed that he should use guns frequently. A legitimate businessman would not have such a hobby. In the following days, several doctors came to the laboratory one after another. One of them was a former student of Professor Wu. After graduation, he went to a company in the south, but eventually retreated in complex interpersonal relationships. Now he has returned to Yanjing and joined Liemo's team. Of course, Liemo arranged for Brother He to conduct a comprehensive investigation on them, and the results showed that they were all innocent. Unfortunately, the air battery project has not made any progress, and Zhao Dafeng still analyzes the picked up experimental records every day, trying to find some spider silk ants from them. Jing Jing is a little impatient. She always goes to Liemo's office a few times every day to ask him about his new ideas for air batteries. Liemo used this excuse to fool her. As a result, Liemo sent her away every time because the time was not yet ripe. Looking at Jing Jing's suspicious eyes, he shook his head helplessly. It was indeed not time yet. There was no information about the Gust Foundation from the Security Bureau. According to what Xia King learned from her colleagues, all the staff of this fund entered from abroad, but all the procedures were very formal and there were no loopholes. Liemo could only ask Brother He to strengthen the security work. Time came to the last day of July. Early in the morning, he received a call from Mengcheng. The call was from Mr. Wang from the high school. On the phone, Mr. Wang invited Liemo to return to Mengcheng to attend the 20th anniversary celebration of the school on behalf of Mengcheng No. 1 High School. Thinking about the clueless experiment, Liemo agreed at once. "Mom, I will go back to Mengcheng to attend the school anniversary in August." After hanging up the phone with Mr. Wang, Liemo immediately called home. There is an ancient poem, "The thread in the hands of a loving mother, the clothes on the body of a wandering son." But who knows that the wandering son has thoughts of returning home every night. The mother's cheering voice came from the phone. "Leoli, my son is coming back. Go buy more fish. Ma likes boiled fish." After hanging up the phone, Liemo gently wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes. He is now a visiting professor at Yanda University, in charge of a laboratory. In front of outsiders, he is a genius, a professor, and a boss, but in front of his family, he is still the child who loves boiled fish. Boss, this is the selection list for the marxing project. King pushed the door open. Liemo quickly turned his back and said, put it there. I'll take a look later. He didn't like his soft side to appear in front of his subordinates, even King, who was with him day and night. King thought the boss in front of her was a little strange, but she didn't think much about it. She gently put down the list and walked out. Marxing Project. Liemo looked at the black words printed on the white paper, and his thoughts flew to a few months ago when he won the Abel Prize and returned home. A table, 2 people, a pot of wine, and a cup of tea. The tea was Liemo's, and the wine was Professor Wu's. On the table was a plate of peanuts and a plate of smashed cucumbers. Liemo, keep an eye on old Wu, don't let him drink too much, I'm going to do square dance. The teacher's wife told him before she left. When she left, Professor Wu puffed and laughed. What do women know? Wine is a man's courage. What's wrong with drinking a little wine? Liemo looked at the professor's arrogant look and smiled. He knew that the professor must not be able to drink a drop of wine at home. Teacher's wife also means well. Your health? Liemo advised. I know my own body, I know it myself. Professor Wu poured a glass of wine and drank it all. Don't look at me as academically inferior to you, and I don't win as many awards as you, but I drink better than you. Do you believe it? Liemo had to nod helplessly. It seemed that Professor Wu was drunk. Chapter 211. Wu San Wei. When Liemo was in junior high school, he also secretly drank red wine at a banquet. As a result, he held the bride's legs during the ceremony and made a big joke. After getting to know the Pajero alien, in order to avoid doing irrational things, after drinking and getting injured, he has kept a distance from such things since then. You know, I'm not a competent teacher. Professor Wu said with a big tongue. Other students are proud of their teachers. After graduation, they go out to find a job and write on their resume that they have received several verbal praises from Professor Wu of Yanda. TSK. Maybe the interviewer gave me a few more points at that time. Now, it's the opposite. Do you know how other professors will call me after returning to China? Teacher of the Abel Prize winner. Does it sound good? It doesn't sound good. I'm Professor Wu of the Department of Mathematics of Yanda. I have my own name. Professor Wu poured another glass of wine and drank it all. Liemo was sure that he was drunk because he had given up chopsticks and used his hands to grab peanuts directly. I have only met 2 students like you in my life. Liemo was a little curious. Could it be that he has a genius senior brother? Who is that? Professor Wu's face suddenly darkened. You are my student, and you are half my son. It's okay to tell you. Remember I told you that I had a son before. Before Liemo guessed the meaning of his words and did not interrupt. Teacher Wu did say that his son died abroad and his wife was depressed for a long time. His name is Wu Sanwei. In my opinion, Sanwei's talent is no worse than yours. Do you believe it? Professor Wu's eyes were wide open, full of bloodshot. Liemo nodded. He never thought that his talent could be compared with that of a real genius. If it weren't for the learning assistance system, he would be just an ordinary student. As a big shot in the domestic mathematics community, Professor Wu has many students all over the world, so he naturally has a good eye for people. When he was 3 years old, he was able to do 4 arithmetic operations. I still remember the first time I saw him calculate the result of adding 2 3-digit numbers by self-study. Your teacher's wife and I hugged each other and cheered. We have a genius child. When he was 5 years old, he was sent to the Salmon Intelligence Club by your teacher's wife to take an IQ test, and he was accepted as an S-level member of the club at that time. Professor Wu fell into memories. After obtaining the learning assistance system, Liemo once studied IQ in order to try not to be so different from ordinary people. In general IQ tests, IQ is based on a 200-point system. Those with 90 to 110 points are in the normal intelligence range. Those with 120 to 140 points are smart people, and those with more than 140 points are called geniuses. As the world's most famous high IQ club, the Salmon Intelligence Club uses IQ as a standard for membership. It is said that only those with an IQ test of 140 can join the club. The Salmon Intelligence Club claims that all members in the club are equal, and Liemo has never seen any literature that the Salmon Intelligence Club has membership levels. So he asked in confusion, Salmon Intelligence Club also has S-level members? Professor Wu poured another glass of wine, looked at the reflection in the glass, and said, "You never thought of it. When the club's top management invited us to the Salmon headquarters, we knew that the Salmon Intelligence Club was not an ordinary IQ testing organization. The club will conduct a full range of tests on members with an IQ above 140 points. They will not tell the test subjects the purpose of these tests, and only after the test subjects pass these tests will they be invited. Only after accepting the invitation can the test subjects truly become S-level members of the Salmon Intelligence Club." Liemo nodded involuntarily, which also solved the long-standing confusion in his heart. According to literature records, the Salmon Intelligence Club was founded abroad in the 1940s. As time went by, it has developed into a multinational club with presence in countries around the world. The strange thing is that this club does not charge membership fees and provides free IQ tests to anyone who tries to join the club. Since its establishment, it has always adhered to the principle of non-profit, and its only source of income is the royalties from the publication of some IQ test books. But these are obviously not enough to support this large-scale multinational club. Professor Wu revealed that there were S-level members in the Salmon Intelligence Club, which perfectly explained this problem. Liemo now deduced that the Salmon Intelligence Club was actually an organization that selected seeds for foreign countries. Sure enough, Professor Wu picked up the glass again and drank it all. After Sanwei became an S-level member, a senior executive of the Sagate Intellectual Club flew in from abroad. He invited me and your master's wife to the hotel where he was staying. When we first met, he dismissed the club staff present and produced a passport. His name was Pandoralita and his nationality was Italian. He had a high nose bridge, silver curly hair, and his eyes seemed a little strange, with one eye big and one small. I will never forget what he looked like. Pandoralita asked us to hand Sanwei over to him and take him abroad to study. There is a school of the Sagate Club there with the best facilities and teachers in the world. The children in the school are all S-level members. He assured us that the child would 100% enter an Ivy League school in the future. I objected at the time. As a professor in China, how could you send your child to a foreign country to be educated by others? At this point, Professor Wu poured another glass of wine and drank it again. Liemo knew that something must have happened later. Pandoralita then opened a suitcase he carried with him, which was filled with $100 bills, as much as 1 million. To be honest, your wife and I were stunned at the time. $1 million in cash in front of you has a much greater impact than a few numbers on your mobile phone now. You also know that I was just an ordinary lecturer at the time, with a monthly salary of only $2,000. My family of 3 plus my mother-in-law were squeezed into a house of only 30 square meters. When I saw so many US dollars, I was moved. At that time, the housing price in Yanjing was only more than 3,000 per square meter. With so much money, we can buy a big house. But I still refused. Although I'm just a poor teacher, I will not get rich by selling out my son. $1 million in the 1990s was indeed not something that ordinary people could refuse, but Liemo believed that Teacher Wu had the courage. Since it was not for money, then what was it for? More than half of the wine in the bottle had been drunk, but Professor Wu's expression became more and more sober. He continued, at this time, he took out a document and put it on the table. I took it and looked at it. It listed the students who had studied at SAT school. Most of the people on the list are now working in foreign research institutions or large companies. What surprised me even more was that the last 2 names on the list were replaced by numbers. Pandoralita told me the full names of the 2 people, and I was stunned at the time, because these 2 people are famous in the history of science. If it weren't for their outstanding contributions to physics, the era of high-energy physics might have been delayed for another 10 years. Among them, Dr. R also led a huge plan and finally succeeded in creating a force capable of destroying the world. Chapter 212 Sagate Intelligence Club. Power enough to destroy the world. From the sharp cold weapons of ancient times to the hot weapons of today, although humans have mastered many powerful weapons, the only thing that can really destroy the world is the atomic bomb. Liemo has already guessed the name of Dr. R on the list. He is actually an S-level member of the Saggate Intelligence Club. If this is true, then the power of the Saggate Intelligence Club is far beyond his imagination. Liemo carefully recalled the biography of the physicist. Indeed, in the official records of different countries in the world, his experience before the age of 15 is unknown. The earliest record can only be traced back to when he was admitted to a well-known university at the age of 15. Modern media has been very developed. As one of the most famous scientists in modern times, he actually has a blank period in his life. This situation is rare, but these cannot confirm that the Saggate Intelligence Club's senior executives are telling the truth. Could it be that the teacher believed it so easily because he wanted his son to become a dragon? Liemo thought to himself. Professor Wu noticed his puzzled look and smiled self-deprecatingly. Although I'm a nerd, I don't only read books of saints. Naturally, I don't believe what Pandoralita said. If necessary, he could even say that Newton also came from the Saggate Intelligence Club. But Pandoralita took out a stack of photos, which were arranged by year. The top one was taken when Dr. R first entered the Saggate school. Although I have only seen photos of him after he became famous, I can be sure that the young student in the photo is him because their temperament and appearance are so similar. The photos behind are Dr. R's growth experience in school, and then the celebration party when Dr. R was admitted to Harvard University. The last photo finally convinced me that Dr. R was indeed an S-level member of the Saggate Intelligence Club. In the photo, Dr. R is standing next to a huge bomb, and there is a man next to him. He is Pandoralita, but he was still very young at that time. After reading this, I was also deeply shocked by the power of the Saggate Intelligence Club. Maybe if and when he joins them, he will become a well-known scientist in the future. Liemo sighed silently in his heart. Every parent wants their children to be successful. They are willing to give everything for this goal, even if it means they have to separate from each other. Pandoralita stared at me with his big and small eyes, and told me that he was Dr. R's mentor. He now thinks my son has great potential and his future achievements may be comparable to Dr. R. The prerequisite is to join the Samen Intelligence Club, because the domestic education environment will bury him. I was very hesitant at the time, because I think the domestic education level is improving year by year, and Sanwei will have a good future if he stays in China. But your wife's attitude has changed. She stubbornly believes that Sanwei is going abroad is the best choice, especially for this opportunity that many people dream of. Professor Wu said this, and directly put the mouth of the bottle to his mouth, and drank the remaining half bottle of wine. Unfortunately, I didn't stick to my point of view, and Sanwei followed Pandoralita to go abroad. Of course, we agreed that the child must call us once a day. In fact, Saggate Intelligence Club has always followed the agreement. We call Sanwei once a day. During the call, we learned about every detail of his life and study. Saggate Intelligence Club has equipped those children with professional psychologists, health workers and other professional caregivers, and they will go on a sea trip on a sailboat once every semester. But when it comes to detailed information within the Saggate Intelligence Club, such as the size and location of the school, he rarely talks about it on the phone. Once I asked which country the school was in, Sanwei had just said the word Europe on the phone when the call was disconnected. When I called again and asked the same question again, he refused to reveal a single cent. At that time, I was still thinking that maybe the school asked them not to disclose the location for the safety of the students. Later facts proved that I thought too simply. Sanwei's learning progress is also very fast. At the age of 12, he had already learned all the knowledge of the undergraduate degree. Then the Saggate Intelligence Club chose a master's tutor for him. It is inconvenient for me to reveal the name of the tutor here. You will understand later. Professor Wu's eyes sparkled with a gleam of light, and Liemo knew that he was not drunk. The tutor, whose name cannot be revealed, seems to occupy a certain position in this story. Before Sanwei was about to go to that private university for postgraduate studies, he came back to reunite with us for a week. This was also agreed by the SA Club after our repeated requests. Although we haven't seen each other for 7 years, the phone calls every night connect us father and son, so we don't feel strange. That was the happiest week of my life. My child is about to grow up and fly high from now on. As a father, I tried to give him back his lost childhood. Unfortunately, Sanwei, who returned to China, seemed to have no interest in the things that normal children like. A teenager holding a thick Latin book every day, from morning to night. It was then that I realized that Sanwei was no longer the child who couldn't walk when he saw the rocking car. Even so, I dragged him to play the pirate ship. Professor Wu's face showed a strange glow. This should be a beautiful memory. Things changed when Sanwei was about to graduate with a master's degree. He had just turned 15 at that time. One night, he vaguely revealed on the phone that he was about to join a scientific research project. It was a project led by the Sagate Intellectual Club. Due to the confidentiality of the project, we could only call once a week in the future. Of course, we didn't realize there was anything wrong with the project. We were secretly happy for him in our hearts that the child could finally show his talents in scientific research. Maybe soon, he will appear on the international stage of academia. In the following weeks, he called back at the exact time every weekend. Every time he called, he would hang up in a hurry after a few simple words, and as time went on, his mood on the phone became more and more depressed. Until one time, he told me a story on the phone. At this point, Professor Wu stood up and staggered to pull out a piece of white paper from the deepest part of the drawer. This was written down by me after Sanwei's accident. Can you help me see what the meaning is? I really can't understand why he told such a story instead of telling me directly. Chapter 213 The Story of the Bronze Statue Kingdom. Liemo took the piece of white paper. It was stained with tears and had turned yellow with the passage of time, but there was no trace of wrinkles, which showed that it had been carefully kept. The white paper read, "Dad, I heard an interesting story today. This story happened in the Bronze Statue Kingdom. The king of the Bronze Statue Kingdom has 3 children, the hot-tempered Sky Prince, the duty-bound Clock Prince, and the gentle and kind Princess Lucy. The Bronze Statue King gradually aged, and he decided to let the kind Princess Lucy inherit the country. The hot-tempered Sky Prince decided to rebel. He deceived the Clock Prince into making him an alarm clock that only counted down, and then hung the alarm clock high up in the Bronze Statue Kingdom. When the countdown comes to an end, the alarm clock will ring, and then the whole kingdom will be shrouded in the terrifying ringing sound, and the subjects of the kingdom will die in pain. The threatened Bronze Statue King had no choice but to pass the throne of the kingdom to him. But the Sky Prince did not dismantle the alarm clock, but forced the Clock Prince to connect an invisible wire to the alarm clock, so that he could pull the wire and reset the alarm clock when the alarm clock is about to ring. Prince Sky, who became the king, imprisoned his brother Prince Clock. The survival of the entire kingdom depended on the invisible wire. Then he decided to make more alarm clocks and hang them all over the world. The kind-hearted Princess Lucy escaped from the kingdom with the help of a magician. The magician told her that, if she wanted to defeat Prince Sky, she must first destroy the alarm clock, because once Prince Sky did not pull the wire in time to reset the alarm clock when the hour hand of the alarm clock was about to reach the end, the whole world would be shrouded in the ringing of the alarm clock. In order to destroy the alarm clock, a magical silk thread must be found, which must be able to penetrate steel and will not get lost. In the end, Princess Lucy found this silk thread in the opposite Cube Kingdom across the river. With the help of a group of kind Cube people, she used the silk thread that would not get lost to penetrate the alarm clock, and the alarm clock would never ring again. Princess Lucy returned to the kingdom of Bronze Statue, rescued the imprisoned Prince Clock with the help of her subjects, and then killed Prince Sky together. After giving up the throne to Prince Clock, Princess Lucy started a journey around the world with the magician. The story ends here. Dad, I love you. Liemo frowned. This is a very strange story, just like a fairy tale. There are 2 kingdoms in the story, the kingdom of Bronze Statue and the kingdom of Cubes. There are 3 protagonists, Prince Sky, Prince Clock and Princess Lucy. There is also a very powerful weapon, the alarm clock. What is an alarm clock? What is the magical thread that can penetrate steel and not get lost? There are too many metaphors in the story, told by Professor Wu's son. It is certain that he was monitored by others when he was on the phone, and he could only tell his father some information through fairy tales. But he might not have thought that Professor Wu had not figured out the metaphor of this fairy tale for so many years. With Wu Sanwo's high IQ, would he not understand this? Maybe he deliberately made the fairy tale so obscure so as not to involve Professor Wu. Li Mo felt that he had gradually put himself into the environment that Wu Sanwo was in at the time. How is it? What do you think? Maybe it was because of the alcohol. Professor Wu unbuttoned his collar and asked breathlessly. Li Mo shook his head and didn't look directly into the teacher's eyes. I don't understand. Maybe this is just a story he wants to share with you. Professor Wu took the page of paper and carefully put it in the cabinet. He sighed. Am I overthinking it? Then, Sanwei disappeared? Li Mo asked. He felt that he had guessed the outcome of the matter. If that's the case, at least I still have hope. Professor Wu sat back at the table. 3 weeks later, I received a call from abroad. On the phone, the foreigner said in broken Chinese that Sanwei had an accident during the experiment and accidentally fell into the experimental pool. His body was gone. At this point, Professor Wu held his head and burst into tears. Li Mo watched silently from the side. He knew that it would be redundant to say anything now. After a long time, Professor Wu finally raised his head. Sorry, I made you laugh. Every time I think of this, I can't help it. Although Li Mo couldn't empathize with the pain of losing a son in middle age, he could imagine it. Didn't you and your wife go abroad to look for him? And that international phone number, did you write down the number? Li Mo raised the question in his heart. At that time, all the phones installed were fixed line phones, and the numbers were not displayed. I went to the post office to check, and it was indeed a call from the other side of the ocean, but the number was unknown. According to the staff at the post office, this type of call was encrypted and the original number could not be parsed. Sure enough, what he could think of, the caller would not fail to think of. I haven't finished talking just now. The foreigner on the phone said that he would pay us a $2 million compensation as an apology. Later, we did receive an electronic draft. At that time, your wife and I were unwilling to accept such a result, so we went to the Salmon Intelligence Club, where we originally took the Sanwei intelligence test. As a result, the building was already empty. According to the owner of the building, he rented the building to a foreign company a few years ago. We checked the business registration records again and confirmed the words of the building owner. The company was registered by a foreigner and mainly operated the business of exporting cotton jackets to Africa. Perhaps the business was not good, and the company was cancelled not long after registration. After finding nothing, we went to the Chinese branch of the Salmon Intelligence Club, but the staff there flatly denied the existence of the club. There was no Sanwei test data in their records. Professor Wu's face was confused. He couldn't understand why the original Salmon Intelligence Club disappeared, but the new Salmon Club did not admit it. If Sanwei really died in an accidental experiment, they also paid enough compensation, and there was no need to cover it up. We applied for passports to go abroad unwillingly. Only then did we realize that we knew nothing about Sanwei's life and work. The only clue was the college he had attended and the tutor he had. Your wife and I flew to the other side of the ocean and came to the private college where Sanwei had attended. Guess what I found there? Professor Wu showed a strange smile on his face. Li Mo thought for a moment and replied, nothing was found, right? Haha. You're so right. Nothing was found. No enrollment record, no dormitory record. Even that famous tutor denied that there was such a student. Professor Wu laughed hysterically. It's as if my 3D didn't exist. Since then, I have realized that 3D has been caught in a huge conspiracy. Compared with that organization, ordinary people like us are too weak. So, I resolutely brought back your almost mentally ill wife, returned to Yanda, and concentrated on studying mathematics from then on. I look forward to the day when I can climb to the top of the world and solve this secret. Do you think I can see that day, Li Mo? After speaking in a trance, Professor Wu fell drunk at the dining table. Li Mo sighed. Chapter 214 Marxing Project. Through Professor Wu's narration that night, Li Mo felt that he had touched the edge of the truth of three-dimensional disappearance, but he did not understand the meaning of the fairy tale of the bronze statue. This seemingly absurd story must contain a secret. Before such a secret is cracked, any action against the Sagat Intelligence Club is a dangerous temptation. Therefore, he specially asked Xiaoqing to check the internal archives of the Security Bureau. The top secret archives of the Security Bureau are a strange archive, which collects events from all over the world. Maybe the authenticity of these events is questionable, but it is still very helpful for analyzing the truth of the events. Two files in the top secret archives caught Liamo's attention, one from Southeast Asia and the other from South America. Their common feature is that they have a child with high IQ, and after taking the child to undergo an IQ test at the Sagat Intelligence Club, they received a large amount of financial assistance. The child was sent to the school of the Sagat Intelligence Club to study, and the last mysterious phone call informed them that the child died accidentally in the experiment, and they received a large pension again. According to the time analysis of the archive records, the timeline of the incident is exactly the same as Professor Wu's experience. The difference is that they are not as far-sighted as Professor Wu. After the child died unexpectedly, the two couples launched a search operation with great fanfare, which is why this incident was recorded in the top secret files of the Security Bureau. The final result was that the two couples lost their traces on the way to find their children and disappeared from the world. Through these two files, Liamo came to a conclusion. Wu Sanwo's experience is not an isolated incident. The Sagat Intelligence Club screens children with high IQs around the world and then spends huge sums of money to train them. This is a costly and time-consuming project, and they will definitely not let them easily encounter accidents in the experiment. They must have participated in a particularly top-secret experiment and were forced to be isolated from the world. With these high IQ geniuses researching advanced scientific and technological projects in a secret base, and the Sagat Intelligence Club providing financial support behind the scenes, the development of science and technology will definitely be much faster than normal. This may be why some countries have particularly fast scientific and technological development. So Liamo planned the marksing plan, which selects some students with good character and excellent talents for long-term training. The ultimate goal is to cultivate the backbone of the Yanjing Mozi Science and Technology Laboratory in this way. This list is the investigation of the students who applied, that he entrusted Xiaoqing to conduct. In this investigation, Liamo paid more attention to the character of the students than their IQ, because after all, he could not do the thing of keeping these scientific researchers in captivity. In the prosperous world, there are many temptations. It is difficult for a person with bad character to maintain his original intention under the intentional or unintentional temptations from the outside world. Those students would never have thought that the seemingly ordinary interview questions actually contained the most accurate IQ test questions and self-made character test questions. Thinking of this, Liamo felt that he was too smart. Zhang Tao's IQ is 116 and his character is 7. Wang Zufeng's IQ is 118 and his character is 6. Zhang Xiaola's IQ is 126 and his character is 9. Liamo's eyes lit up. IQ 126 can be explained because Yanda is not short of geniuses, but character 9 surprised him. According to the character standard he set, character 10 is a realm that earthlings cannot reach. Even Liamo himself does not think that his own character can get 10 points. Liamo entered a string of passwords into the computer and found Zhang Xiaola's file. Zhang Xiaoli, female, 18 years old. Her father died when she was 5 years old. She followed her working mother and wandered around. At the age of 17, she was admitted to Yanda University with full marks in science. After entering Yanda University, she no longer received any financial support from her mother. She earned tuition and living expenses by working part-time outside the school, and even sent gifts to her mother every month. She is currently a recipient of the Liamo Education Fund. A girl who did not receive an excellent basic education since childhood can beat 99% of high school students and be admitted to Yanda University at the age of 17, which is enough to prove her IQ. A 17-year-old girl can earn the money needed for college with her own hands and start to repay her mother, which is enough to show her filial piety. That's her. Liamo decided to include her in the marksing list. This may be a rough gem waiting to be discovered by others. Then the second, third, fourth, and 5th 4 men and 1 woman. He picked out a total of 5 students from the list as members of the marking plan. This was already beyond his expectations. The quality of Yanda's students is indeed the best in China. Xiaoqing, come in for a moment. These are the students I selected. Just pick them into the lab and start from the basics according to the original plan, Liemo said. Xiaoqing walked out with the list. She didn't understand Liemo's plan. According to the prior agreement, the students selected this time were to be trained as interns. Internships are usually at the bottom of the lab. They usually do all the dirty and tiring work in the lab. At the same time, they are also the targets of exploitation by the tutors. But this boss tailored a study plan for these interns and even invited a postdoctoral fellow to teach them. She shook her head. Normal people couldn't understand what the boss was thinking. School self-study room Zhang Xiaoli, Wan Lifeng, Zhao Yang, Ke Hangte, Zhang Wen. Congratulations to the 5 of you. From now on, you are a member of the Yenqing Mozi Technology Laboratory. Although you are still interns and only have to work 11 hours a week, I hope you will study hard. Xiaoqing took out a contract. There is still a contract? Zhang Wen, who looked mature, took it first, read it carefully, and signed his name. Of course, although our laboratory is just beginning, we already have an Abel Prize winner and a luxurious lineup of 5 doctors. Xiaoqing said proudly. It's amazing. I knew I was right. I heard that there were more than 200 students who signed up, but only 5 of us were finally admitted. Does that mean we are also amazing? Ha ha ha. Zhao Yang, with dyed yellow hair, said proudly. Yes, I also think I'm the best. I think I have the highest IQ. Xiaoqing looked at the 4 boys in front of her talking at the same time and shook her head helplessly. Is this what the boss chose? At the same time, she also noticed that Zhang Xiaoli was sitting there quietly in the corner, reading the contract carefully, as if she had read it several times. Is there something wrong with the contract? This was drafted by Zhang Yazi herself. Xiaoqing walked over and asked softly, Student Zhang Xiaoli, is there any problem with the contract? Zhang Xiaoli hurriedly signed her name, shook her head and said, No, I just want to read it a few more times. Looking at the panic expression on her little face, Xiaoqing felt as if something had touched her heart. Okay, from now on you are a member of the laboratory. I will ask the security director to issue P1 authority cards to you later. Xiaoqing put the contract into the file bag. Please remember, all experimental contents of our laboratory are confidential and must be discussed with caution. If any leaks occur, the laboratory has the right to file a lawsuit against you. Xiaoqing warned. She knew that these students were lively by nature. Although P1 only had the lowest level of authority and could not pass through confidential areas, they could not relax. Chapter 215 Airport Pickup. Harbin Airport. Since there is no airport in Mencheng, Liemo, who returned to his hometown to attend the school anniversary, could only choose Harbin as a transit point. Brother Hey, help me carry my things. Xiaoqing was carrying 2 small bags in her hands and a mountaineering backpack on her back. She couldn't hold the remaining suitcase, so she had no choice but to ask Brother Hey, who was wearing sunglasses, for help. Brother Hey pretended not to see it and turned away quietly. Liemo shook his head helplessly. He was fed up with these 2 live treasures around him along the way. Let's talk about Brother Hey first. As a bodyguard or even security captain, he is extremely qualified, but Brother Hey has a fatal shortcoming. That is, he will not do anything other than security, so that when picking up the plane tickets, Brother Hey only took his and Liemo's tickets, and Xiaoqing's ticket was left at the service desk. In his words, helping Liemo pick up the plane ticket is also a security content. As for Miss Xia, it is not within his job scope. Yes, bodyguards also have the dignity of bodyguards. And Xiaoqing, since she learned that Liemo needed to go back to Mencheng to attend the school anniversary, she quietly left Yanda after get off work every day and returned only when night fell and brought back a lot of trophies. Liemo once dissuaded her, but in her words, Auntie once gave her a gold bracelet, which was the first jewelry she received in her life. At that time, her salary was low. Now she has been promoted to the chief assistant of the laboratory. With a generous boss, her salary has increased a lot, so naturally she needs to prepare a meeting gift for her uncle and aunt. but the large and small bags she carried were enough gifts for 10 meetings. In the end, Liemo softened his heart and pulled the suitcase for Xiaoqing. "Boss, do you think auntie will come to pick us up?" Xiaoqing had to pull behind because of the heavy weight. "I think so. I confirmed the itinerary on the phone yesterday." Before Liemo finished speaking, a figure ran over from a distance. "Xiaoqing, is the journey smooth?" He looked closely and saw that it was his mother who was running. This was also the first time he saw his mother running so fast. Liemo was about to open his mouth to say hello, but the two women in front of him hugged each other tightly. "Aunt, I missed you so much. Kinga, you seem to have lost weight." "Really? I think your skin has become much whiter. Did you use the skincare products I recommended?" "Really?" In the eyes of those who don't know the truth, this is a touching scene of a mother and daughter reuniting. Liemo was speechless. He was obviously his mother's biological son. Could friendship between women be so easy? Only then did Old Lee slowly catch up from behind. "Are you back?" "I'm back, Dad." The two men's shoulders touched lightly, and Old Lee took the only suitcase in Liemo's hand. "Wait." Liemo's mother frowned and looked at the large and small bags that Xiaoqing was carrying. "Child, what are you carrying?" Xiaoqing smiled and said, "This is a gift for you and your uncle. I picked it out from the mall. Do you like it?" "No, I'm asking why you carry all these things." Liemo's mother's eyes were full of anger. She stretched out her hand and twisted Liemo's ear. "You are a boy. How can you let a thin girl carry so many things? It hurts. It hurts, Mom. Please be gentle." Liemo felt like he was back in junior high school. "Aunt, don't blame Liemo. I'm his assistant. These are all my jobs." Xiaoqing saw that boss was subdued by someone and hurried forward to explain. "This time, for Kinga's sake, I will spare you." Liemo's mother let him go. "If you dare to bully Kinga again in the future, you will be in trouble." "How can I bully a girl who grew up in the army?" Liemo was a little amused. He was sure that, although his body had been strengthened, he was far from being a match for Xiaoqing, who looked thin, but had been battlefield for a long time. Xiaoqing wrinkled her nose and made a naughty gesture. "Did you hear me? If you bully me again, I will tell my aunt." Facing the unreasonable duo, Liemo could only nod repeatedly. "Who is this comrade?" Old Lee noticed the man wearing sunglasses behind them. He had been standing behind Liemo, his eyes scanning the passing passengers from time to time. "This is my security supervisor, Brother Hay," Liemo introduced. "Hello, Comrade Hay." Old Lee took the initiative to greet him. Brother Hay just nodded slightly, because greeting was not within his job scope. Modern security supervisor has some personality. Old Lee thought secretly in his heart. "Student Liemo, we are late. Forgive us. Forgive us." At this time, Jiro Zufeng, the principal of Mengcheng No. 1 High School, stretched out his hands from a distance, followed by Teacher Wang with a smile on his face. After not seeing him for a long time, Teacher Wang seemed much younger. Liemo was a little surprised by the arrival of Principal Jiro, because today was the day of the school anniversary, and there must be many leaders coming to the school. As the principal, he should stay in the school to receive guests. "Thank you." Liemo stretched out his hands and clasped them tightly together. "Teacher Wang, you are here too. Your teacher is now the vice principal, so you should call him Principal Wang." Jiro Zufeng watched the teacher-student reunion with interest. Ahem. Teacher Wang's face flushed. "Don't listen to old Jiro. I'm just in charge of the teaching affairs, and I'm still teaching." Seeing Teacher Wang's embarrassed look, Liemo knew that he was still the simple teacher. It is also the luck of the students of Mengcheng No. 1 High School to have such a serious and responsible teacher in charge of the teaching affairs. "Principal, let's go. The leaders of the education committee are still waiting for us at the venue." The assistant behind the principal whispered to the side. Jiro Zufeng looked at Liemo with an inquiring look. "Let's go. I'm looking forward to what changes will happen to No. 1 High School now," Liemo said. A white MPV drove quickly from Harbin to Mengcheng. Looking at the scenery outside the window, Jiro Zufeng said, "Student Liemo, because of you, Mengcheng No. 1 High School is now a provincial key school." And Leo Wang, in this year's college entrance examination, 1 Qinghe and 1 Yanda were admitted to the class, and 8 students were admitted to the top 10 universities. This is rare in our province. The college entrance examination results of the former Class 1 and Class 2 were so good, which was beyond Liamo's expectation. After all, as a small city with backward education, no students have been admitted to Qinghai Yanda for many years. Who is admitted to Yanda? Liamo still has some expectations for future alumni. Chen Shuxian, admitted to the Chinese department of Yanda. Teacher Wang replied. Chen Shuxian, the girl with the ponytail and blue clothes. The past is vivid in my mind. Although only 2 years have passed, it seems like a long time ago. Unexpectedly, she really realized her dream. Liamo still remembers what Chen Shuxian said when they parted at sunset. He was happy for Chen Shuxian, but also a little troubled. Chapter 216 Return to Alma Mater. Welcome Liamo, the cracker of the world's difficult collapse conjecture, back to school. Welcome Liamo, the prover of the world's difficult four-color conjecture, back to school. Welcome Liamo, the prover of the world's difficult odd number perfect conjecture, back to school. Welcome Liamo, the winner of the first prize of the National Natural Science Award, back to school. Welcome Liamo, the winner of the Abel Prize, back to school. In the downtown area, several propaganda vehicles were pulling banners and driving slowly on the street. There were also several students in performance costumes beating gongs and drums on them. The narrow street was occupied by floats for most of the road surface, and pedestrians on the side stopped to watch. Is this a Montreal-style float parade? How is it? Principal Zhao Zufeng's face showed a smug expression. Isn't it very creative? Liamo felt that the scene in front of him had surpassed his imagination. Principal Zhao Zufeng, a banner lover, wanted to carry forward the banner culture. It was too ostentatious to parade on the street with a banner. He looked at Teacher Wang next to him. Teacher Wang noticed his gaze and quickly lowered his head with a red face. It seemed that this was entirely Principal Zhao's idea. Thinking of this, Liamo sighed and pretended to be disappointed. What's wrong? Principal Zhao asked in confusion when he saw that his float parade did not receive the praise it deserved. Liamo frowned and said, the banner is written wrong. The banner is wrong? Principal Zhao's heart tightened. Impossible. I designed the banner myself. There is no way it can be wrong. Although a high school principal is not so busy, he has a lot of trivial matters. He actually did things like designing banners himself. It seems that he really loves it. Liamo raised his face and sighed. I'm now a professor at Yanda. The banner says classmates, so the banner is written wrong. Professor? Fuck. Unexpectedly, the always gentle Teacher Wang actually burst out with swear words first. Really? You are already a professor, and a professor at Yanda? Principal Zhao's voice trembled a little. As a graduate student, he naturally knew the weight of the title of professor. He also had some classmates who worked in universities. They worked diligently for many years, but they were still just lecturers. The best one had just been hired as an associate professor. Our boss was specially hired as a visiting professor by Yanda last semester, and is now leading an independent laboratory. Xiaoqing, who was standing next to him, decided to add Lister to Liamo. There was silence in the car. After a long time, Teacher Wang took the lead in breaking the silence. I didn't expect you to have made such progress. I was still complacent about becoming the vice president. As a teacher, I'm really ashamed. Liamo turned around and said solemnly, students are great. You will always be my teacher. Teacher Wang raised his head and said with a smile, I'm kidding you. As a teacher, I will be happy for every progress of my students. People who are jealous of students' achievements are not worthy of being teachers at all. Liamo understood that his teacher was still as upright as always, and the promotion of his position did not make the teacher lose his original intention. So, my banner is really wrong? Principal Zhao Zufeng showed a confused look on his face. He was still struggling with this issue. Principal, we are almost there. Should I notify the students who are welcoming us? At this time, the assistant next to him took out his mobile phone and asked. Oh, yes, notify them quickly. Zhao Zufeng returned to normal. The MPV slowly drove to the school gate. Liamo found that the school had replaced the new gate. The hyperbolic arch gate looked particularly modern. A pair of honor guard students played music under the leadership of the teachers. There were also several students in lion dance costumes performing lion dances next to them. This is a combination of Chinese and Western. Liemo, Big Brother Liemo. The students inside the school gate found the arrival of the MPV and surrounded it. The MPV was difficult to move forward for a while. Principal Zhao frowned and said, "Notify the teachers in the academic affairs office and ask the students to make way. The leaders in the auditorium are still waiting." The assistant took out his mobile phone and was about to dial, but was gently stopped by Liemo. "I think as a student of Mengcheng No. 1 High School, I should walk back to my alma mater. At the same time, I can also see the development of the school. Also, the high school has a large number of students, and driving on campus will affect the safety of students." Hearing this, the assistant to the principal hurriedly said, "But in the auditorium, the ceremony is about to begin." Liemo cast a sharp gaze at Principal Zhao. Zhao Zufeng frowned and thought for a moment, then nodded. "Professor Liemo is right. There are many accidents caused by vehicles on campus, and some of them have even led to irreparable tragedies. Wang Shan, please record it. From today on, except for logistics supply vehicles, no private vehicles, including those of leaders and teachers, are allowed to enter the campus. For vehicles that do not listen to advice, you can contact our on-campus police officer, notify the school security department, and execute it immediately." "Yes, Principal." The assistant wrote down his words word for word in the notebook. Liemo saw the other side of the banner principal with vigorous and resolute actions. It seems that the development of Mengcheng No. 1 High School in the past 2 years has been so good, and this Principal Zhao has made an indelible contribution. Liemo praised in his heart. "Let's go. I will walk with you today." Zhao Zufeng signaled the driver to open the door. Teacher Wang got out of the MPV first and shouted to the students rushing around, "Everyone make way and line up. Let your senior Liemo see what the current Mengao students are like." The students who were crowded together just now immediately consciously separated a path. Liemo got out of the MPV. "Boss, boss, boss. So handsome. I heard that you have graduated from Yan University as a graduate student. Awesome." A classmate wearing glasses gave a thumbs up. Liemo smiled slightly. The classmate's words were too true. "Boss, please sign your name for me." A female classmate took out paper and pen from her school bag. Liemo took it and wrote her name in a flamboyant manner. "And me. Boss, I will sit in your previous seat. Everyone says that I have made rapid progress. With your signature, I will definitely get a good grade this semester." Those students who didn't bring paper and pen could only sigh to the sky. They didn't expect that this boss would really get off the bus. Dingling, dingling, dingling. The class bell rang, and the students who were just gathered in a group turned around and ran into the classroom without hesitation. Even Liemo held the notebook that he had just signed in his hand, but couldn't find its original owner. "Give it to me. I will send it to that classmate later." Teacher Wang took the signature. Liemo couldn't help but sigh that the current learning atmosphere in Mengcheng No. 1 High School is very good. This is the newly built computer center. The city invested part of the money, and we raised part of it ourselves. We also hired professional computer teachers. Principal Zhao Zufeng pointed to a new building next to him and introduced it. Liemo nodded. "Now we have entered the era of computers. Due to the weak investment in education, small cities generally do not pay attention to cultivating students' abilities in this area. Mengcheng No. 1 High School is still very far-sighted. This is the experimental building. The school organizes students to form interest groups outside of class and conduct scientific experiments under the guidance of teachers. We also regularly organize students to communicate with key high schools in the provincial capital." Principal Zhao is quite proud of his attempts in quality education. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217 Toner King Dashan. In the auditorium of Mengcheng No. 1 High School now, please invite Liemo, the winner of the first prize of the National Natural Science Award, the winner of the Abel Prize, the professor of Yan University, and the outstanding alumnus of Mengcheng No. 1 High School, to speak. On the rostrum, Principal Zhao Zufeng held the microphone and read out a long list of titles. The audience applauded, and many parents sitting in the back row stood up to see this genius from Mengcheng No. 1 High School more clearly. Their children are currently studying at Mengcheng No. 1 High School, and maybe one day, Chinese parents are the best parent group in the world. In order for their children not to be late in the morning, they can get up from the warm bed at 5 o'clock to prepare breakfast for their children. They can even give up the long cherished figures for their children to attend extracurricular tutoring classes. Originally, most parents were not interested in the activities organized by the school because their daily work has already pulled most of their energy, and most of the activities will overlap with work time. In China's highly competitive workplace, asking for leave does not exist. Therefore, as long as it is not a parent-teacher meeting, most of them will find excuses not to participate in other activities. This time was the same. When they received the anniversary invitation from their children, they had already thought of an excuse. Just like Wang Dashan, the parent of Wang Daming, a freshman in high school, who works in a technology company in Mengcheng, with a working time of 887. What is 887? It means working from 8 AM to 8 PM, 7 days a week. He has 1 day off a month, and the long working hours are really overwhelming for him. Fortunately, his position is somewhat related to it, and his salary can be said to be the first class in Mengcheng. For the sake of a considerable income, Wang Dashan persists every day. After all, Mengcheng is not a big city, and there are not many opportunities to find such a suitable position. So when he got the invitation, he was ready to face the disappointed look of his child. At most, he would buy him a transformer. Now their project is at a critical moment. The project manager has said that each of them will receive a bonus of 100,000 after the project goes online. It is impossible for him to ask for leave now. Dad, the teacher said that Senior Liemo will come. Wang Daming saw his father frowning and knew that he was making excuses again. Come if you want to. Dad's work is at a critical moment. I'll buy you a transformer this weekend, the programmable kind. As a programmer, he prefers to buy toys that develop his children's IQ. Wang Daming showed a frustrated expression on his face. He didn't need any toys. He said unwillingly, it's Senior Liemo who was on TV a while ago. Don't you admire him very much? On TV. Wang Dashan remembered it, and he patted his head. Is it the one who won the first prize of the National Natural Science Award and the Able Prize? Yes, our teacher Wang was his class teacher that year, and he told us personally. Wang Daming felt hopeful. Wang Dashan felt that he was in trouble. The reason why he tried his best to send his son to Mengcheng No. 1 High School was because it was the alma mater of the big brother Liemo. Wang Dashan is actually a real fan. He had followed Liemo on Weibo as early as when Liemo solved 2 world problems. Every time he saw Liemo's new achievements, he would be secretly happy, but it was a pity that this big brother was too lazy and often did not update for several months. Later, the big boss Liemo won the Able Prize and became the first Asian to win this award, which made him even more excited. Because Wang Dashan's childhood ideal was to become a scientist and win glory for the country on the international stage. Unfortunately, his own talent is limited, and he succumbs to the pressure of reality, so he can only drift away from his former ideals. And the big boss Liemo is realizing his ideals step by step, and he is proud of being a toner. Now the big boss is back to school to attend the school anniversary. As a toner, can he give up such a good opportunity to meet? What kind of toner is that? Thinking of this, he picked up the phone and called the manager. Boss, I want to take a day off. The other side of the phone seemed to not hear clearly and asked back, Dashan, what did you say? I want to take a day off. Wang Dashan felt that he had never been so brave. Take a leave. You are the backbone of our project. Do you know how urgent the client is? Don't you want the 100,000 bonus? Sure enough, a storm is coming. Liemo is back to Mengcheng No. 1 High School. Wang Dashan, who made up his mind, directly stated his purpose. Liemo. Is that the Liemo from Mabel? The expected storm did not come, and the manager seemed to be a little concerned about this issue. Yes, his alma mater is Mengcheng No. 1 High School, and he came back to attend the school anniversary this time. Wang Dashan continued to explain. Well approved. You go to attend the school anniversary. The manager pondered for a moment and made an unexpected decision. Wang Dashan couldn't believe his ears. Was his phone broken, or was the manager opposite kidnapped? Because in the eyes of all colleagues in the company, the manager is the contemporary Huang Shiren. He wanted to slow down the clock, to extend the working hours, but when he thought that everyone could display the time on their mobile phones, he gave up. Wang Dashan was ready to pay a sufficient price. What about my project bonus? He asked tentatively. Pay it in full, but I have a request. Tomorrow you will take the company's SLR camera for shooting materials and take pictures of Liemo attending the meeting. It would be even better if you can get an autograph, and the company will give you an extra reward. The manager said his request in one breath on the phone. Wang Dashan was puzzled. A few photos could earn him a full project bonus, and there would be an extra reward for signing. This was not like the manager's usual style. Was he planning to do something illegal? According to netizens who knew about the situation, the boss Liemo was attacked by an unidentified person. Manager, what are you going to do? Liemo is the glory of our country. We can't let ourselves be cheated for a small profit. Wang Dashan decided to persuade him to stop. There was silence for a moment on the other end of the phone, followed by a roar. Wang Dashan, what are you thinking about? Am I, Huang Shiren, so unbearable in your eyes? Although I often ask you to work overtime, and sometimes I deduct some benefits. But isn't this for the company's sake? You all know how fierce the competition is now. Listening to the roar on the phone, Wang Dashan felt relieved. Then what are you doing? You know nothing. The client this time is a Remo fan. When I played basketball with him, he often complained that the boss was too low-key. If we can take some photos of the boss Liemo and send them to him, or even get his autograph, I'm confident that I can get all their business. Wang Dashan believed this reason. After all, with Huang Shiren's style of not doing anything without profit, he would not do business at a loss. Chapter 218 Carrying the Train. Liemo slowly stood up from his seat, and the camera with the MCTV logo moved slowly with him. Hello, leaders, teachers, parents, and classmates. 2 years ago, I graduated from Mengcheng No. 1 High School and embarked on the path of academics. For me, Mengcheng No. 1 High School is my alma mater and the starting point of my career. Thank you, everyone. He bowed deeply. The audience applauded. Boss Liemo, I love you. A voice came from the back row, causing a roar of laughter. Boss, I love you. Boss, can I have a baby with you? With a start, the unrestrained people of Mengcheng were mobilized and expressed their love one after another. Even several middle-aged women stood on their seats and shouted. The atmosphere in the audience became more and more heated, and the audience in the back row kept moving forward. The leaders on the stage couldn't help but look sideways. They had never seen such a popular scientist before. Such enthusiastic audiences were only seen when those idol stars appeared. Brother He quietly walked to Liemo's side, leaned over and whispered, "The atmosphere here is too warm. Maybe we should leave." Liemo hesitated for a moment. It was not appropriate to leave in the middle of the event, but his basic task had been completed. As a professional bodyguard, Brother He's words did make some sense. The collective emotions of the group were indeed difficult to control. Moreover, the air in the auditorium made him feel uncomfortable. So he stood up, looked at Principal Zhao with an apologetic look and said, "Principal, I have some private matters to attend to, so I need to leave early. Please forgive me." When Principal Zhao saw Brother He muttering on the stage, he already understood the whole story. He was helpless with the enthusiastic audience below the stage. After all, the unrestrained folk customs are a major feature of Mengcheng. Once a real estate project was launched, the wealthy developer invited a foreign third-tier star. Good guy, this can be regarded as mobilizing the enthusiasm of the people of Mengcheng who have never seen foreigners, and the stage was surrounded by people. Just when the developer was secretly proud of having achieved the advertising purpose, an accident happened. The star on the stage, whether because of the low labor fee or the fatigue of the journey, sang 2 out-of-tune songs and hid in the backstage and no longer appeared. The audience, feeling teased, rushed into the backstage and invited the singer back. It is said that after the performance, the European and American singer fled Mengcheng overnight on the train. From then on, those stars in the entertainment industry who were making money by performing for money would retreat when they heard Meng Cheng. Thank you for returning to your alma mater in your busy schedule. Principal Jiao thanked again. Liemo said, you are so polite. As I said in my speech just now, this will always be my alma mater. Professor Liemo is busy with official duties and needs to leave early. Principal Jiao picked up the microphone and said, now, please enjoy the Swan Lake performed by the first year high school students. When the audience heard that Liemo left early, a sense of pride surged in their hearts. But Principal Jiao's next words extinguished this anger. They remembered that this was the school auditorium and their children would also perform on stage. If the children saw him like this, it would be so embarrassing. So all the audience sat down again and applauded. Liemo couldn't help shaking his head when he saw this scene. Walking out of the crowded auditorium and breathing the fresh air outside, Liemo felt much more comfortable. Professor Lee, do you need a ride home now? A driver in a white shirt opened the car door. Liemo nodded. This was also the main reason why he came back this time. Because he vaguely felt that, after completing this system task, he would never have such a peaceful time again. He sat in the car and closed his eyes. The car didn't go far before it suddenly braked. Liemo opened his eyes. Brother Hayes' hand habitually touched his waist. Professor Lee, there is someone blocking the road ahead. The driver turned around and said, someone blocking the road. He is not an ancient court official who went on a secret visit. Why would someone block the road? Liemo looked through the car window and saw a middle-aged man wearing glasses waving a notebook in front of the car. Scholars blocking the car? Seemingly too thin, Heijia had quietly opened the car door, put his right hand on his waist, and got out of the car. Heijia's steps were strange. His left foot stepped on the position where his right foot had stepped, and his body was bent forward, like a vigilant cheetah. Liemo sat in the car and watched Heijia interrogate the man who stopped the car, and the man with glasses gestured something. Seeing Heijia shaking his head constantly, the man with glasses took out his mobile phone again, as if showing something. Heijia's attitude eased a lot. It's your black fan. Want an autograph? Heijia returned to the car and said unhappily, black fan. Liemo then remembered that his fans called themselves black fans on Weibo. At that time, he was mocked by Xia King for this name. Sure enough, boss, there are also black fans of yours in Mengcheng? Xia King next to him said jokingly. Women's hearts are like needles in the sea. Wasn't it just that on Weibo, a few female black fans posted a few cool photos. The young Liemo took a few more glances, and from then on, he was remembered by Xia King, and directly called the black fans black fans. Liemo ignored her, and got out of the car. He had to be humble to his fans. This was something he learned from the entertainment industry, where many people were constantly upset. Big brother Liemo, I finally saw him alive today. The man with glasses got excited when he saw him get out of the car. Brother Hay stood between them intentionally or unintentionally. I'm Liemo. Can I know your name? Liemo saw him waving a small notebook and had guessed what he wanted. Me. The man with glasses was stunned when he heard Liemo's words. Although he had never chased stars, he had seen many such scenes. Most stars would knock on the names and send fans away hastily. No star would care about the name of a fan. Yes. Liemo asked again, what's your name? The man with glasses came back to his senses. He said excitedly, my name is Wang Dashan, and I'm a programmer. Hello, Wang Dashan, do you need any help? Liemo asked with a smile. Wang Dashan wanted to move forward, but he was afraid of Brother Hay, who was standing between them, and looked difficult to deal with. He took a step forward, and then took 2 steps back. Liemo walked up to Brother Hay and said, it's okay, he's a programmer. Liemo was sure that Wang Dashan in front of him was a standard programmer, because he was wearing a plaid shirt, jeans, sneakers, and had typical calluses on his wrists. The most important thing was that, although he was only in his 30s, the hair on his head had begun to fall. Brother Hay slowly moved away, his right hand still on his waist. Wang Dashan quickly handed over the paper and pen for signature. Liemo quickly wrote his name on it. Can you sign another one for me? Wang Dashan asked. Liemo had to turn over a page and sign his name again. Can you sign another one, and write study hard, and make progress every day on it? Wang Dashan asked again. Liemo hesitated for a moment. Are you going to sell my autograph? I guarantee that this is the last one. Wang Dashan saw his confusion and explained. This is for my son. His name is Wang Daming, and he is also a student of teacher Wang. It turned out to be a junior. Liemo turned over another page and wrote on it, study hard, make progress every day, and swim in the ocean of knowledge, Wang Daming. Your senior, Liemo. Looking at the signature on the book and the car going away, Wang Dashan was filled with emotion. The stars in the scientific community are of high quality, and he was proud to be a toner. Chapter 219. Plan ahead. Excuse me, who are you looking for? As soon as the car arrived at the gate of the community, it was stopped by a security guard. Liemo rolled down the car window and replied with a smile. Master, I want to go to the home of Li Tiso in 808, building 21. Hearing this name, Xia King in the backseat laughed out loud. That's right, his dull father's name is Tiso. It is said that, because he was in poor health when he was a child, his grandmother gave him this name for good luck. Because this name is so down to earth, outsiders usually call his father Leoli instead of calling him by his full name. The security guard frowned and thought for a while, then asked in confusion, didn't Leoli in 808 just come back? Wait a minute, I want to call and ask. Then he turned and walked into the security room. It seems that your father is quite famous, boss, Xia King said with a smile. After a while, the security guard came over with a junior high school math textbook and saluted. Professor Lee, we need to register to enter and exit. Please sign your name. Liemo took the book, and there was a name written crookedly on the cover. He asked in confusion, are you sure you want to sign here? The security guard nodded, but his eyes did not look around. Liemo smiled slightly, signed his name on it, and handed it back. The security guard was overjoyed to take the textbook and quickly opened the gate. When the car drove away from the gate, Xia King asked in confusion, boss, he was trying to trick you into signing just now. Why did you return it? Liemo said, I know. It's not like he hasn't seen the visitor record sheet in the community before. How could there be a signature on a textbook? Maybe the security guard just asked for a signature for his child. He has always been very tolerant of such white lies. Boss, you don't know where your home is? Xia King looked at the driver who took the wrong road again under Liemo's command and asked in confusion. It seems to be a left turn. Please turn left, master. Liemo checked the surrounding environment while directing the driver. He had only been back to his new home once, when there were only a few buildings in the community. Now there are dozens of buildings, and they all look exactly the same. He had to admire China's construction speed. The driver turned left and soon arrived at the end of the road. Boss, how about I call and ask auntie? Xia King asked Liemo, who looked embarrassed. Liemo nodded and was also surprised. His ability to remember everything he saw didn't work here. Building 21. We are in Unit 1, Building 12. Xia King dialed the phone. Turn around, turn left and then turn left again, and we're there. After hanging up the phone, Xia King began to instruct the driver to turn around. Soon, the car arrived in front of Building 21. As soon as the car was stable, Liemo's mother came over. Why did it take so long? Xia King glanced at the embarrassed Liemo and replied with a smile. There is a traffic jam on the road. Let's go home. I bought you some clothes. You need to try them on. Looking at the mother and daughter walking in front of him arm in arm, Liemo shook his head helplessly. Who is the biological child? Auntie, you look much younger in this dress. Xia King boasted while eating a peeled orange in the living room. Really? You know what? I also feel a few years younger. Liemo's mother looked left and right in the mirror. But why buy so many clothes? It's really expensive for you. Xia King waved her hand and replied, Auntie, you don't know that clothes in big cities are cheap. The clothes you are wearing only cost 20 yuan. Only 20 yuan? Hearing this low price, Liemo's mother was a little surprised. She touched the fabric of the clothes carefully and said, things in big cities are really cheap. Clothes of this style are sold for more than 200 yuan in the mall here. Liemo could only helplessly watch her falsely reporting the price to fool his mother. He had seen the shopping list. The unit price of the clothes on the list was not less than 1,000 yuan. Xiaoqing finished eating the orange in her hand and stretched out her white and tender little hand to Liemo. Hey Jen, who was sitting in the corner of the living room with a dark face, turned his head slightly. Liemo reluctantly took out an orange from the fruit basket and peeled it slowly. Xiaoqing looked at his reluctant look, shrugged her nose, and made a complaining gesture. Liemo had to speed up the speed of peeling the orange. But his mobile phone received a new message. Liemo took out his mobile phone. Distance 379,435 AU. Volume 65,890 M3. Mass estimation. Target material is complex and cannot be estimated. Write ID. 11,210. Send reminder message. Reminder message has been sent. First detection distance 379,450 AU. Second detection distance 379,445 AU. Third detection distance 379,440 AU. Fourth detection distance 379,433 AU. This is a text message sent by the cosmic quantum wave detector. From the detection records, it can be seen that the distance of the unknown flying object has come closer by 7 astronomical units. Has it accelerated again? Liemo looked at the data in confusion. After traveling 7 astronomical units in 2 months, the speed of this unknown flying object is already close to 2/3 the speed of light. If it can continue to accelerate to near the speed of light, it will arrive on Earth in 8 years. This situation is simply unbelievable. The scene of alien interstellar battleships invading the Earth is not uncommon in science fiction blockbusters. Every time the Earth is about to be destroyed, an Earthling with heroic temperament turns the tide and saves the world. But what if it is reality? Civilizations with the ability to travel between stars have reached at least level 3 civilization. The Earth, which is only a level 1 civilization, will not have any chance under the huge civilization gap. This is like a curious child who found an ant hole. He mischievously poured a cup of water into the ant hole. For the ants in the ant hole, it was a disaster. In this story, the child is a level 3 alien civilization. The Earth is even worse than the ants in the ant hole. After all, there may be a small number of ants left in the ant hole after the flood, and the Earth destroyed by the level 3 cosmic civilization will not have any creatures. What's more, this light-speed flying object is heading straight for the Earth. There are countless civilizations in the vast universe, and there are also various kinds of life, but there will never be useless behavior, because although the universe is large, resources are limited, and waste of resources will always be punished, so the light-speed flying object will definitely not come to the Earth for travel. Then there are 2 reasons for the behavior of this alien flying object. One is goodwill and the other is malice. The goodwill may be that there is a kind race in the universe. They travel through the universe and specialize in helping the weak civilizations in the universe. This time they discovered the Earth and decided to come to the Earth to bring warmth from billions of miles away. This kind of plot is probably not something that even the most sensational movies can make. Then there is only the possibility of malicious intent. The light-speed flying object discovered the Earth for unknown reasons. The Earth has the resources they need, and they decided to include the Earth in their colony. Just like what the Pajero people did to the civilizations around the galaxy. This is in line with the Dark Forest law. Thinking of this, Liemo's mood suddenly fell to the bottom. This unknown flying object was like a hanging sword of Damocles reminding him that he didn't have much time left. After finishing lunch hastily, he didn't even eat a few bites of his favorite boiled fish. Looking at the mother-daughter warmth between his mother and Xiaoqing, Liemo decided to return to Yanjing overnight. He wanted to advance his big plan. Chapter 220 Alien Abandoned Batteries. At night, the laboratory was still brightly lit. Boss, didn't you go back to attend the school celebration? Jingjing, who was checking data in the laboratory, asked in surprise when she saw Liemo suddenly appear. It was already pitch black outside, and Jingjing's eyes were bloodshot, which moved Liemo's heart. According to Brother Hay, although there was no task pressure, the members of the project team had to work overtime until after 11 o'clock every night. He looked at each department and found that the main members of the project team were there. Most of them had deep eye bags on their faces, and even Zhao Dafan was lying in his comfortable chair with his eyes closed. Seeing the boss coming in, they greeted him weakly and continued to work again. Seeing this scene, Liemo felt a little guilty. Because the air battery project would never succeed, this was just an excuse for him to prevent the outside world from doubting the sudden appearance of the new battery. The air battery was not the real purpose of his experiment. Just like the suffering that the European father encountered in the experiment, the precipitation of flocculant oxides inside the air battery is inevitable, which determines that the air battery can only stay in the experimental stage forever. This impossible goal makes these scientific researchers study day and night. Is he doing too much? In fact, as early as when he planned to complete the task of changing the world by studying new energy batteries, he had secretly studied the alien discarded battery obtained from the lottery for completing the system task. He tried to connect the discarded battery to a high voltage charger. The result made him very happy. This battery stored 300 kWh of electricity in 10 minutes. What is the concept of 300 kWh of electricity? This means that this palm-sized battery is enough to drive a 2-ton car for 2,000 kilometers, which fundamentally subverts the traditional lithium battery. There is no more convenient way to invent a new product than copying, not to mention that this copying will never be complained by the patent party. Of course, if the third-level civilization that made this battery filed a patent complaint against him in the cosmic court, Liemo would also be happy to accept it. Someone once said that the biggest difficulty in copying a product is that you can't copy it after you take it apart, or the effect of the copy is too different from the original product. Liemo originally agreed with this statement. Just like when he was a child, he took apart the only radio in his home and found 2 more parts after reassembling it. In the end, he was educated well. Now this alien discarded battery tells him that the biggest difficulty in copying is that you can't take apart the original product at all. He once heated this battery to 5,000 degrees Celsius, but there was no sign of melting on the surface of the battery. You know, this temperature can easily melt the Hafnium alloy with the highest melting point on Earth. Then he placed the battery under a 500 MPa water jet, which can easily cut steel, but left no signs on its surface. The solidity of the alien discarded battery made him happy and worried. The good thing was that this battery had stable properties and would not explode like lithium batteries, and there was no safety hazard. The worry was that if the shell could not be opened, there would be no copying to talk about. At this time, he remembered the scalpel that had been used for the connection experiment. After the experiment with the Pajero people, in the spirit of a scientist's research, he secretly put the scalpel into his backpack. Sure enough, the alien battery that could carry a high-pressure water jet for cutting was lightly scratched by the scalpel and cracked. With the sample, now all he needs to do is compare it with the copycat, but Liemo has been slow to bring this sample directly to the laboratory. He mainly has his own concerns. There is an old saying in China that a man is innocent, but he is guilty of holding a jade. There is no technological product that appears out of thin air in the world. Any technological product is the product of combining theory with practice. The birth of a similar technological product is also a gradual process. For example, the Wright brothers made the prototype of the modern aircraft, but today, more than 200 years later, large passenger planes that can carry hundreds of people can fly in the sky. Another example is the internal combustion engine. In 1794, the British Streeter had proposed to obtain power from the combustion of fuel. In the 1920s, the development of the internal combustion engine was fully mature and became the main power source for machinery on Earth. If Liemo directly announced this battery that could change the world, he would be faced with all kinds of doubts. Although the learning assistance system in his head was hidden very deeply, he should never underestimate the talents in the world. He always had, or for the unknown. That's why Liemo set up an air battery project team. In his original plan, this project team accidentally discovered a new type of battery in the process of studying air batteries, so everything seemed to be logical. But the unknown flying object 700 million light years away reminded him that time was running out. Thinking of this, Liemo clapped his hands. Let's have a meeting together. Jing Jing reluctantly left the test bench. She had no idea about her experiment. Only by analyzing the speed of floccules from the data, as soon as possible could she prepare to set the input current value. Zhao Dafeng also stood up from his chair. In fact, he knew it when Liemo first came. But he was so tired that he really didn't have the energy to say hello. The IBAG research team also walked into the meeting room. They were so tired that they staggered around, and one of them even almost knocked over the vase arranged by Xiaoqing. Everyone's recent research work has progressed very quickly, and it deserves praise. Seeing that everyone was present, Liemo decided to only reward sugar beans without wielding a big stick. So, I decided to give everyone 3 days off, of course with pay, and not included in the annual leave. Although Liemo had never worked in a large company, he heard that the administrative supervisors of those companies were masters of time management, and they would count the employees' leave as annual leave. Then when overtime is required on statutory holidays, they will smile and tell employees that this is not overtime, but a normal shift of working hours, so that there is no need to pay double overtime pay. Liemo was looking forward to the cheers of the employees, which would also satisfy his vanity as a boss. Unfortunately, there were no cheers. The members of the project team all had incredible expressions on their faces. They looked at Liemo with a puzzled look, as if the boss in front of them was not a real person. "Boss, are you a robot?" Jing broke the silence first, and she asked a strange question. Because for scientific researchers, there will never be a vacation, especially when the air battery project has not made any progress. Liemo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could that be? Touch my hand. He knew that these researchers would never joke, and the best way to break the rumors was to experience it in person, so he stretched out his right hand. Jing gently held it, feeling the warmth, and her brows relaxed. Liemo smiled and said, "How is it?" Jing still shook her head and said, "Although you have body temperature, it doesn't prove that you are not a robot. I heard that Japan has now produced a kind of simulation robot that is exactly the same as a real person and has body temperature. I wanted to buy a male robot that could help me walk the dog, but the manufacturer said that all the robots they made were female." Chapter 221 The Real Laboratory. Looking at Jing's puzzled expression, Liemo felt that he couldn't explain this question clearly. How can a person prove that he is himself? Especially in the modern era, where simulation robots can be completely fake. Do you need to cut and verify that it is not a robot? He said impatiently, "I have a new idea. After the 3-day holiday, you need to work overtime until 12 o'clock every day, and there is no overtime pay. Since this researcher likes to work overtime so much, let them work overtime." Unexpectedly, their eyes lit up after hearing this. Jing asked expectantly, "Boss, do you really have a new idea? Are you fooling us?" She was fooled by the boss's new ideas, but every time he mentioned it, the boss always said that the time was not right. Is it time now? Jing felt her heart pounding. The new scientific idea was really new and attractive. "Can you tell me first?" Jing made a coquettish gesture. Liemo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This researcher actually sold his body for science. He said with a straight face, "I order you to go back and sleep for 3 days, and then face new challenges. Look at how depressed you are now. Can I trust you to complete the new concept?" Under his threat, the battery project team reluctantly left the laboratory. "Am I so charming?" Liemo looked at their reluctant expressions and wondered, or is it that it's not easy to find a job now, and they are afraid that I will quit? Shaking his head, he decided not to dwell on this matter. Liemo walked into the office. On the wall behind his desk was a 3D star map. Xiaoqing once asked him curiously, "Why does a mathematician hang a star map? Shouldn't he hang a 99 multiplication table?" He smiled and said nothing. This star map is based on the starry sky on a summer night at 35 degrees north latitude. Countless bright stars are dotted on the picture, and a long Milky Way separates Alta and Vega. Liemo gently drew Alta and Vega to the position where they meet on the Magpie Bridge on the Chinese Valentine's Day. The star map was split into two, and a secret door appeared silently in front of him. He walked slowly into the secret door, and inside was a room of 10 square meters. There was nothing in the room except the white walls. Living organisms detected. ID detection. ID. 01. Entry allowed. A pleasant female voice appeared in his ears, and a secret door appeared on the wall of the room again, and a staircase appeared inside leading to the upper floor. Liemo took the stairs upstairs. Upstairs was a laboratory of more than 400 square meters. A server was humming, and strange characters were jumping on the monitor. This is his real laboratory. Zaha, close the curtains and turn on the lights. Liemo glanced at the 360-degree camera installed in the corner of the roof. That was Zaha's eyes. The thick black curtains were slowly pulled up, and the lights in the laboratory came on one after another. Liemo carefully inspected the equipment in the laboratory. The antenna of the cosmic quantum wave detector was facing the direction of the unknown aircraft. The chemical molecule analyzer on the laboratory table was still flashing a blue indicator light. Zaha, report the current progress. He frowned, and it seemed that the internal material composition of the alien battery had not been analyzed yet. Master, according to the latest detection data of the cosmic quantum wave detector, the unknown aircraft is accelerating continuously, and its straight-line destination is the Earth. Liemo nodded, and he had learned all this through text messages. The chemical molecular analyzer has been running for 240 hours, and it is currently operating normally. It has been 238 hours since you left the laboratory. During this time, there was no abnormality in the laboratory. Zaha reported the situation in the laboratory in detail. Liemo pulled a chair and sat in front of the laboratory table, on which was placed the discarded alien battery. Its surface had been cut open, revealing a dark green solid substance. He now regretted destroying it in a violent way. If the dark green substance loses its due activity, it will be too late to regret it. Perhaps a more appropriate disposal method should be adopted. Master, I think there is something you need to know. Just as he was lost in thought, Zaha hesitated and spoke. Liemo feels uncomfortable every time he hears Zaha, the artificial intelligence, say such human words. Can the code of 0 and 1 form the feeling of feeling? Although he does not trust artificial intelligence in his heart, it is not only because he once had a terrible dream in which he became a stranger, Fang knew, but more importantly, humans lack the means to restrict artificial intelligence. Compared with carbon-based humans, silicon-based artificial intelligence has too many inherent advantages. They can complete the knowledge that students can accumulate through 10 years of hard study through data copying. And they do not need sunlight, water and food, but only need sufficient electricity to survive and develop. They can even reproduce continuously through copying. Although he wrote the 3 principles of artificial intelligence as the highest authority into the core of Zaha when writing the program, under the constraints of the 3 principles, Zaha cannot take any actions that are harmful to humans. But as Zaha's wisdom continues to grow, Liemo is worried that one day in the future, she will find a way to bypass the authority. But this day is still a long way off. When facing a strong enemy, the first thing to do is to unite all the forces that can be united. This is what a great man once said, and Liemo deeply agrees. So when he was sure that the course of the spacecraft 700 million light years away was heading directly towards the Earth, Liemo had to give up his concerns and release Zaha, the alien artificial intelligence. When he designed the laboratory, he equipped Zaha with a server that was comparable to a single supercomputer and upgraded her permissions. Now Zaha can monitor the entire laboratory through the cameras throughout the laboratory. But according to the settings, she has no real right to interfere. Liemo nodded. Request permission. For Zaha, he used procedural language as much as possible, so as to avoid the confusion of permissions caused by ambiguous sentences. According to the security inspection records, Zhang Xiaoli, an intern with P1 permissions, tried to enter the P2 level laboratory area twice. This is a picture recorded by the surveillance camera. The computer displayed the time of 8:30 in the morning, and a thin girl appeared on the screen. She tiptoed to the door of the main laboratory downstairs, gently pushed the door open, and looked inside through the crack of the door. Jingjing, who was checking the data in the laboratory, did not realize the abnormality outside. When Zhang Xiaoli saw that Jingjing was the only person in the lab, the screen zoomed in at the right time. A disappointed expression appeared on her face, and then she quietly closed the door and left. The second video, at 6 p.m., was similar to the first video. Zhang Xiaoli also just pushed the door open and looked inside. She did not try to enter the lab. As a member of the Marxing project selected by Liemo, she had been told in advance that they could not set foot in the lab area with high authority levels. Why did Zhang Xiaoli make such a move? Was she looking for someone? But according to the archives, Zhang Xiaoli did not know other people in the lab before. Liemo asked with doubts, Xiaohe, so far, has Zhang Xiaoli had any abnormal situation in her study and work? The fan of the server turned a few times. It was obvious that it did not call too much computing power resources from Xiaohe. It was much faster than when she was in the notebook before. According to the analysis of Zhang Xiaoli's daily behavior pattern, she did not have any abnormal situation. Liemo thought for a while and asked, analyze the reasons for Zhang Xiaoli's abnormal behavior. Things that the human brain cannot figure out should be handed over directly to the computer. He has now learned to be lazy. According to the analysis, the only difference between Zhang Xiaoli and other students is that she is a recipient of the Liemo Education Fund. With the monthly living allowance from the education fund, she doesn't have to work very hard at a part-time job. Liemo was stunned. Could it be that the thin girl was trying to find him? Unfortunately, Zhang Xiaoli didn't know that her boss had rarely appeared in the laboratory some time ago. Chapter 222. 99.9999% pure carbon. Beep, beep, beep. Accompanied by a crisp prompt sound, the green indicator light on the outside of the chemical molecular analyzer flashed a few times. Master, the composition of the green substance in the discarded battery has been analyzed. Xiaohe has obtained information from the analyzer. Please speak. Liemo's eyes stayed on the remains of the alien discarded battery on the experimental table. He was full of expectations for the results obtained by this disposable chemical analyzer. According to the analysis report, the main components of the battery are high purity carbon element and a small amount of lithium ions. Xiaohe replied. Carbon and lithium ions? Liemo was shocked. This answer far exceeded his imagination. Because carbon itself does not have conductivity, the electrons inside its atomic nucleus are also very inactive. According to the principle of battery, the first condition for making battery element is to have active ions. Just like the reason why lithium can become the first choice of various batteries is because it has a large charge density and a stable helium-type double electron layer, which makes lithium easy to polarize other molecules or ions, but it itself is not easily polarized. Because the electrode potential is the most negative, lithium is the most active metal among the known element. Carbon is the first element in group IV in the periodic table, and is located between the most non-metallic halogen element and the most metallic alkali metals. Its valence electron layer structure is 2s22p2. It is not easy to lose electrons or gain electrons in chemical reactions, and it is difficult to form ionic bonds. How can it be used as a raw material for making batteries? Liemo deeply suspected that there was an error in the analyzer, but based on past experience, there would be no functional errors in things produced by the learning assistance system. Are you sure that the material used as the battery core in the battery is carbon? He asked doubtfully. Very sure, and the purity of this carbon has reached the extreme purity of 99.9999%, and the remaining 0.00001% is lithium. Xiaohe replied. But carbon is not suitable as a battery core at all? Liemo asked. Unconsciously, he had already regarded Xiaohe as a knowledgeable partner. There is a famous philosophical saying in human history that existence is reasonable. Since this alien battery uses high purity carbon as the main material, there must be a reason for it. What we need to do is to figure out the principle. Xiaohe's words are full of philosophy. Liemo suddenly had an inspiration and slapped his head. The properties of matter are not only related to the characteristics of its element, but more importantly, they are affected by the structure. Just like the pinnacle of man-made objects, the computing chip CPU, its composition is only high-purity silicon, just like the sand in the desert, but after being etched by a photolithography machine, it can complete billions of floating point operations per second. Similar chemical composition does not mean that their internal structure is also the same. Carbon is one of the most widely distributed elements on the earth. It can form amino acids necessary for human life, and can also form a diamond that flows forever. So does carbon have a special structure that gives it a super strong ability to store current? The answer is completely possible. Master, I think your behavior of slapping your head is not a safe behavior. According to statistics, 135 people around the world suffer concussions every year due to slapping their heads like this. At this time, Xiaohua made a crisp sound. 135 people got concussions because of patting their heads. Liemo thought it was a little funny. Are there such unfortunate people in the world? But he was not stupid enough to question an artificial intelligence in terms of data. Thank you, Xiaohua. Although he knew that Xiaohua was just an artificial intelligence, such kind concern still warmed Liemo's heart. At this time, Liemo thought of a new problem, and he asked, I need a microscope that can see the internal structure of atoms clearly. Do you have any recommendations? Since the alien batteries contain carbon and lithium, it is necessary to understand their internal structure so that the differences can be effectively analyzed. There is no microscope in the world that can really see the internal structure of atoms. Xiaohua replied. There is no such microscope? Liemo frowned and asked in confusion. But I saw in a journal that a foreign scientist used an electron microscope to see the inside of the atoms of metal element. Xiaohua replied, Master, your description is that you can see clearly. Only optical microscopes can receive light. At the atomic size, light will refract and diffract, so you can't see the internal structure of atoms clearly. In order to solve this problem, humans invented the electron microscope. Except for the scanning tunneling microscope, which does not use an accelerator, many other microscopes obtain images by accelerating electron beams or other particles. The difference lies in the energy applied and the display accuracy. Then perform computational simulation to regenerate the internal image of the atom. Also, in the laboratory downstairs, there is a field emission scanning electron microscope that is currently in the world's leading position. It can observe the secondary electron image and reflected electron image of the surface morphology of various solid samples and image processing. Using it, although you can't directly observe the internal structure of carbon atoms, you can verify your various conjectures. Xiaohua may have noticed the master's doubts and explained everything in detail. Liemo felt ashamed because he had a wrong concept about microscopes. Today, he was taught a lesson by an artificial intelligence. Since it is impossible to directly observe the internal structure of atoms, we can only design various composition models based on the number of atoms and electrons of carbon. Liemo thought about it carefully and found that carbon is actually a very magical element. Carbon atoms can form covalent bonds with 4 other carbon atoms through sp3 hybrid orbitals to form regular tetrahedrons, becoming typical atomic crystals. This crystal is diamond. Since the CC bond in the crystal is very strong, all valence electrons participate in the formation of covalent bonds, and there are no free electrons in the crystal, so diamond is not only hard, but also has a high melting point, and is not conductive. When carbon atoms form covalent single bonds with 3 adjacent carbon atoms through sp2 hybrid orbitals, to form a hexagonal plane mesh structure, and these mesh structures are connected into a layer structure, it forms the softest ore in nature, graphite. The same element, due to different internal structures, creates 2 substances with completely different properties. So what kind of structure does the carbon in the battery exist in? He is full of expectations for this question. What needs to be done now is to describe the internal structure of carbon atoms in full with mathematical models. Chapter 223 Carbon Structure. In the morning, Liemo sat on the experimental table and stretched his body. Looking at the dense data in the computer, he felt that his 3 consecutive days of hard work were not in vain. Unlike the usual data model, the description of the microscopic world is a combination of precision and chaos, which makes it more difficult to establish the model. Precision means that the electrons in the atom run on different orbits, which will cause the structure of the atom to change fundamentally. And fuzziness means that the orbit of the electron is not a fixed orbit. According to the uncertainty principle in quantum physics, the position of these electrons cannot be accurately calculated, and their orbit is actually a probability cloud. This led to the fact that he used a lot of random event analysis in the model, which would bring great difficulties to future verification. But Liemo believes that no one on Earth can do better than him. After all, although humans have invented weapons that can destroy the world and left traces on Mars 400 million kilometers away, their understanding of the microscopic world is still very superficial. Schrödinger's damn cat has troubled countless people. It was not until the development of modern quantum entanglement theory that scientists realized that the microscopic world of matter is full of accidents. After excluding diamond, graphite, amorphous carbon, carbon-60, carbon-70 and other forms that are already known to humans, Liemo found that there are 65 carbon structures that need to be verified. Of course, these require members of the battery project team to come forward. After all, their salaries cannot be unpaid. Liemo has now consciously put himself in the role of the boss. Zaha, stand by quietly and pay close attention to the detection and the to-our direction. Liemo set the artificial intelligence to standby mode. He did not want this wisdom to be known by outsiders. Yes, master. Zaha replied promptly. After leaving the top floor, Liemo reappeared in his office and let Alter and Vega on the star map go to different sides. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Liemo opened the door of the laboratory on time and found that the members of the project team were already standing outside the door. Because according to the security settings, their authority cannot open the laboratory door before 8 o'clock in the morning. Jing stood in the front, followed by Zhao Dafeng, and then the 3-member group of eyebags. Seeing the door being opened from the inside by Liemo, Jing's face showed a trace of anger. Boss, you sent us back to rest, but you hid in the laboratory? Do you know how I spent these 3 days? On the first day, I lay in bed for the whole morning, and in the afternoon I was so bored that I calculated the periodic table of elements. On the second day, my former colleague learned from WeChat moments that I was resting and asked me to watch a movie that was said to be very popular. It's called Titanic, and I watched the plot with my nose pinched. After watching that movie, I decided not to set foot in the cinema this year. On the third day, I thought of a good idea, so I moved a chair and sat outside the laboratory door, ready to reanalyze the screen data. Don't look at me like that. Although the laboratory stipulates that no data can be taken out, but I have memorized them all in my mind. This is not against the rules, right? Jing saw Liemo looking at her with a puzzled look and hurriedly explained. I never expected it. Zhao Dafeng and his team had already set up camp at the door of the laboratory. They have been there for 2 days. Jing was crying. Looking at her expression, it seemed as if the 3-day paid vacation was a punishment. Boss, I know you are worried about our health, but have you ever thought about where we, a group of scientific researchers, can go after leaving the laboratory? Zhao Dafeng said, shaking his head. This was the first time he questioned Liemo. The 3 people in the eyebag group also shook their heads, obviously not satisfied with the 3-day vacation. Liemo shook his head helplessly. This is because I ignored everyone's enthusiasm. Now please come to the conference room. Jing's eyes lit up. Boss, do you have a new idea? Liemo nodded with certainty. Jing was overjoyed. In the conference room, Liemo looked at the 5 pairs of expectant eyes at the conference table and carefully took out a box from the suitcase. The 5 pairs of eyes stared at the box. Liemo gently opened the box. There was a transparent test tube in the box. The test tube contained a small amount of dark green substance. The 5 people looked at each other in bewilderment. They were talking about a new idea, but why did they come up with this disgusting looking substance? They didn't understand what Liemo meant. Boss, what is this? Jing, the self-proclaimed chief experimenter, raised her hand first and asked. Liemo shook the test tube gently with his hand, and it was obvious that the substance inside was a solid substance. This is my idea. This. Doubts arose. In their cognition, the substance inside the battery should be liquid, because liquid is more conducive to the transmission of ions. The most common lithium battery currently has liquid lithium ions inside. Even the air battery they are studying has liquid metal ions inside. Therefore, in their fixed thinking, solid substances have nothing to do with batteries. Liemo smiled slightly. There is 0.1 milligrams of high purity carbon and a very small amount of lithium in this test tube. They are the raw materials for our next generation of batteries. Carbon? Carbon is difficult to ionize. You don't know this, do you? Is this dark green substance carbon? Liemo was mentally prepared for their doubts. After all, even when he learned that the battery core of the alien battery was filled with high purity carbon, he looked unbelievable. Can't carbon be used as a battery core? Faced with doubts, Liemo asked back. There is no rule saying so, but carbon. Hearing his confident question, Jingjing hesitated, but this obviously violated scientific cognition. As a believer in science, she would not easily succumb to authority. Maybe carbon can really work as a battery core. At this time, Zhao Dafeng, who had been cold-eyed beside him, interjected, although I don't understand chemistry, this problem can be explained from a mathematical perspective. Do you know how many structures carbon has? He asked a question. Diamond, graphite, wood, carbon, and then there are C60, C70. Jingjing said like a treasure, and the three people with eye bags beside her nodded frequently. As experimental dogs, they are professional in chemistry. But in mathematics, the only difference between these structures is the different internal structure, specifically, the different orbits of electrons inside the atoms. This is their only difference, perhaps just a change in a number. Zhao Dafeng tried to slow down his speech, so that everyone present could understand what he meant. This shows that there may be many carbon structures, but at present, apart from these types of carbon, there are no new discoveries, or it can be said that they have been discovered, but they cannot exist under normal temperature and pressure conditions. Such carbon structures are meaningless. Jingjing retorted, just like the element on the periodic table, including those discovered in nature and created by humans themselves, there are a total of 118 elements. Theoretically, there are infinite types of element. The nuclei of most element after 118 are extremely unstable, with extremely short half-lives, and there is no way to preserve them. At present, they do not have much manufacturing and practical value. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224, Zhangxiali. The same is true for carbon structures. Many unstable structures have no practical value. So what kind of structure is the carbon in front of us? Zhao Dafeng asked slowly. Jingjing and the eyebag trio were stunned. Facts speak louder than words. The carbon in front of them is different from the carbon structures that humans have mastered. Its appearance is obviously different from any known substance composed of carbon element. Is there really an unknown carbon structure? And this carbon structure can be used as a battery core material. The research dog can only be convinced by science. Slowly, Jingjing looked at the test tube with a changed look. She felt that the slightly disgusting green substance inside had become very cute. Liemo sat in a chair and heard that Zhao Dafeng's views coincided with his own, and he couldn't help but look up to him. Compared with the pragmatic chemists and physicists, mathematicians can always see farther and can always see the essence of the inside through the chaotic appearance. This is also the reason why many well-known scientists generally have high attainments in mathematics. Next, everyone's task is to use any method you can think of to calculate the specific data of this carbon structure. Here are 65 sets of data models of carbon structures, and you need to verify them one by one. Liemo knew that there was no efficient way to measure the structure. The most effective way is to screen one by one according to the mathematical model. Jingjing was still thinking about how to measure the structure in front of her. Now she heard that Liemo had made all the data models. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart that the boss was the boss. He had completed all the difficult mental tasks, and they, the experimenters, only had to do some physical labor. Since Liemo changed the direction of the experiment and proposed to find a new carbon structure as the task goal, the atmosphere in the laboratory suddenly became tense. Now the experimenters' 3 meals are all in the laboratory. Fortunately, Liemo, the boss, is not stingy. He specifically told Xiaoqing to choose a seafood restaurant as the catering supplier. He still understands that, if you want the horse to run, you must first feed the horse with grass. Jing looked at the big lobster on the plate and sighed deeply. Zhao Dafeng, who was using a small spoon to dig out crab paste, asked in confusion, "What's wrong? Such delicious food doesn't suit your appetite?" Jing directly pulled the lobster's big claws with her hands and waved at Zhao Dafeng. "I have never eaten such a sumptuous working meal. The boss is generous. This one is estimated to be 50 yuan. Zhao Dafeng rolled his eyes at her. Such a beautiful and fashionable girl is actually so unsophisticated. Take the big lobster in her hand. Although it is not big, you can't even buy it raw for 50 yuan. He replied, "Add 10 times more. Take the eel rice he ordered today. The eel meat is tender and tender. It is obvious that it is not from a farm." As a foodie, he still has some vision. "So expensive?" Jing quickly put the lobster back on the plate. "Do you think I can return the lobster to the restaurant and only eat rice?" Zhao Dafeng smiled and shook his head, saying, "What are you thinking about? This is the boss's intention. It seems that you have been eating lobster rice every day for a week." Jing tilted her head and thought for a while, and felt even more distressed. The reason why she chose lobster was because she heard from her former colleagues that eating lobster would make her skin better, but she didn't expect it to be so expensive. "Unfortunately, our current research has made no progress. At the current rate of eliminating a group of models every 5 days, I'm afraid that the boss will go bankrupt." In the end, she felt that she was no longer entangled, but simply felt that if this continued, the boss's wallet would shrink greatly. Hearing Jing's sigh, the 3 brothers with eye bags who were wolfing down their food next to them also put down their chopsticks. Indeed, Liemo was the best boss they had ever seen. They thought so not, because Liemo paid a high salary. For top experimenters like them who have strong practical skills, there are countless laboratories in the world willing to pay higher salaries. They felt something around Liemo that they could not feel in other laboratories. The 3 brothers with eye bags had discussed this issue many times, and finally they thought it was a feeling of equality. Although Liemo was the boss and had several shining halos on his head, he never put on any airs. They would sit together to discuss the problems encountered in the project. During the discussion, the boss never regarded himself as the boss. This made them feel that Liemo regarded them as real colleagues. Such a situation does not exist in those laboratories with clear levels. In foreign laboratories, although these frontline experimenters receive a lot of salary, they have no say in the laboratory. They are just an experimental tool like equipment. After a quick lunch, the few people looked at each other and nodded to encourage each other. They decided to make the boss's efforts worthwhile. Compared with the experimenters who were under great pressure, Liemo seemed much more relaxed. He had completed the theoretical work, and the rest needed to be continuously verified and eliminated in the experiment. He was still self-aware of the actual operation of the experiment. Liemo was sitting leisurely in his seat in the office, sipping tea, trying to make his expression look amiable. Because sitting opposite him was a little girl, Zhang Xiaoli, who was at a loss. "I want to know why you violated the confidentiality agreement and deliberately set foot in the high-level confidential area." After several attacks, Liemo now pays special attention to safety, so once he is free, he tells Xiaoqing to invite Zhang Xiaoli to the office. Zhang Xiaoli lowered her head, her face flushed, and her 2 little hands twisted together. She looked very pitiful, and Liemo had to look away and deliberately hardened his heart. "You know, the laboratory attaches great importance to confidentiality, especially now is the critical stage of the new project. So, according to the agreement, we have the right to terminate the contract with you." He said this not to deliberately embarrass the little girl. There is a precedent in the history of science. There was once a medical research institute that spent countless money and went through decades of research and development, and finally successfully developed a special effect drug. They hoped to rely on this drug to join the world's top team. But just as they were about to apply for a patent, a magical thing happened. A pharmaceutical company in another country actually got there first. What's even more outrageous is that they didn't even change the name of the drug they applied for, and the layout of the application documents was exactly the same as this. Chapter 225 Talent? It was as simple as that. The golden egg-laying hen that the Medical Research Institute had worked so hard to raise was taken away by someone else. What was even more outrageous was that the foreign pharmaceutical company publicly accused the institute of plagiarizing their experimental results. Some media that did not know the truth learned of this news and made a big fuss about it like a hound smelling blood. The Medical Research Institute also gained a reputation for plagiarism internationally, making a big news. This was really a dumb person eating Coptis, and there was no way to express his pain. The leader of the institute was furious and ordered a thorough investigation. As a result, after several months of screening, all the experimenters in the institute were not suspected, and the investigators returned empty-handed. After consulting with their superiors, the unwilling leader decided to expand the scope of the investigation, and all employees in the Medical Research Institute were within the screening scope. After the investigators excluded several security personnel, a cleaner appeared in their field of vision. When the institute was preparing materials for the application of new drugs, it was this cleaner who was on duty. This cleaner has been working at the institute for more than 10 years. She is conscientious and responsible in her work. Every leader has a good impression of her. In addition, she has a child studying abroad. With a precise target, interrogation becomes much simpler. The cleaner, who had not received any special training, quickly explained everything. It turned out that, although her child won the opportunity to study abroad with his intelligence and diligence, he soon lost himself in the world of feasting and drinking, and his expenses increased day by day. At this time, some people with ulterior motives abroad noticed that his mother worked in a sensitive research institute, and the institute had just made a new breakthrough. They simply set a trap and threatened that if he could not produce what they needed, he would be sent back to China. The child, who had gone through so much trouble to get the opportunity to study abroad in order to change his fate, panicked and told his mother in China about their requirements and asked her to do what those people asked. After learning about the child's experience abroad, the cleaner was anxious and had to listen to them. A perfect opportunity came up. The employees of the institute were working all night in the office to prepare the application materials, and no one noticed that a cleaner quietly appeared in the area where she should not be. The cleaner pretended to accidentally knock the documents on the table to the ground. Seeing that no one noticed her, she picked up a waster basket and put them in. In this way, these confidential documents were swaggered out of the institute. 12 hours later, these documents were placed on the desk of a foreign institute. They were overjoyed and quickly organized manpower to analyze the documents. What was even more unexpected to them was that the entire process of new drug development was completely included in this document, which was equivalent to picking up a new drug for free. The domestic cleaner might not have thought that her action would make hundreds of people's decades of hard work go to waste and cause tens of billions of economic losses to the institute. Although she received the punishment she deserved afterwards, the losses she caused were irreparable. So Liemo didn't want a similar scene to happen in his laboratory, which would not only bring losses to the laboratory, but also ruin a student with a bright future. No, I don't have any other thoughts. I just want to see you. Hearing that, Liemo decided to terminate the contract with her. Zhang Xiaoli shook her flushed face and denied it one after another. Want to see me? Liemo asked puzzledly. He did not deny that he was handsome and often attracted the attention of girls. But he didn't think he was that handsome enough to let a girl take the risk of being expelled just to see him. Yes, Zhang Xiaoli buried her face and made a mosquito-like sound. I'm the beneficiary of your education fund. You saved me from suffering. I joined the laboratory just to see you, but unfortunately I heard from Teacher Xiaoqing that you are very busy. So I wanted to see you through the crack in the door. Unfortunately, I didn't see you twice. Zhang Xiaoli said as she slowly raised her head, her two crystal clear eyes full of purity. Liemo nodded. He believed what the girl in front of him said. Maybe, as she said, she just wanted to see him. Now that we have met, maybe you should go back to class. The girl's eyes revealed a hint of a headache for him. For such troublesome things, Liemo decided to let it disappear in the bud. I hope to join your experimental group. The tone of the thin girl suddenly became higher, and the inner torment prompted her to break through her inferiority complex. Liemo frowned, and in turn joined the experimental group. He did not discriminate against interns, but every experimenter in the experimental group was an elite. Although Jingjing was a young girl, she was good at conceiving experimental plans and had already obtained a master's degree. Not to mention Zhao Dafeng, who was completely a humanoid computer. Liemo admitted that he was not as sensitive to numbers as him. The practical ability of the trio of eyebags is also among the best in the country's research institutes. But the confident attitude of the sophomore in front of him made him curious. Then I would like to hear it. Why do you think you can join my experimental group? Liemo would not pity the other party just because he was a weak person. After all, this is a world where the strong prey on the weak, and only useful people have a reason to exist. I'm the champion of the World Chemistry Experiment Practical Competition, Zhang Xiaoli said with her face raised. World Chemistry Experiment Competition? Liemo felt as if he had heard of this competition somewhere, and he carefully searched his mind. Got it. The World Chemistry Experiment Competition is a niche competition, which is only for young people under the age of 18. Compared with more common competitions, the World Chemistry Experiment Competition examines the actual operational ability of the contestants. Due to age restrictions, the number of participants each year is not large, but to win the championship in this world-class competition is enough to prove her ability. I can control the accuracy of the dropper to 0.0001 milliliters without high-precision instruments. Zhang Xiaoli took the initiative to add, when she saw Liemo frowning 0.0001 milliliters. The dropper is the simplest equipment in chemical experiments and the most commonly used equipment. Almost every middle school student has come into contact with it. But the precision control of 0.0001 milliliters, I believe that 99.99% of the experimenters cannot do it. Although the precision can now be controlled by high precision instruments, the machine is an external object after all. Just like the 100-meter sprinter, Bolt's 100-meter record is 9.58 seconds. According to the speed, Bolt's speed within 100 meters can reach 37 kilometers per hour. This speed is still a big gap from the maximum speed of 120 yards of an ordinary car. But it cannot be said that Bolt's record is meaningless because machines are dead and people are alive. Could it be that the person in front of him is a practical genius, just like the three brothers with eye bags? Liemo's eyes couldn't help but stare at her slender little hands. What kind of control ability can achieve such precise control? Zhang Xiaoli became aware of Liemo's gaze, and a blush crept up her cheeks again. She lowered her head again, nervously pinching the corners of her clothes with both hands, as if the words just now had exhausted all her courage. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.